Hello everyone and welcome to the first Victoria 3 stream of the year with everything that you know and love from Victoria 3, which is basically we will colonize the shit out of whatever we can get our hands on. We will be abhorrent evil people and we will shit on Britain while talking and talk about trains because trains are amazing. We need to talk more about trains. And with us here today is Agonia.
Hello.
And Zeb soon probably has to. He's probably stuck in traffic. If they had more trams in Washington, that wouldn't have happened. Hashtag build more trams.
Trams are good.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit on them and eat dinner.
Yeah, the worst are those who are oh hey, you can't eat on the bus. I get it. Buses are shit. They flung around. Trams, they're smooth. You should be able to eat on trams. And yes, döner. Döner is like the ultimate tram food. Döner was made to be consumed on a tram. You just need to go. You just grab something to eat and you can just eat it on the moving, basically accelerator of your walking. It's perfect. Also, hey Sophie. Hey, my last game I conquered. No one went full anarchist. Well, congratulations. I don't know, I'm probably too shit for that, so I just need more land. Give me more land.
I need more resources and more people.
Bali fake playthrough medic. I mean, this playthrough literally exists due to two things. First of all, old classmate of mine is from Bali. She sees my Twitter feed. This is literally so she's confused or happy, I don't know. And second, Zeb made a joke about Buff Bali. At that point, I couldn't refuse to play Bali. Someone spilled tuna on the train today and the entire train car smelled like... I mean, that's tuna. Yes, okay. You shouldn't leave tuna out for too long.
Yeah, you eat the tuna, not spill the tuna.
You know what? That's what I hate about tuna, honestly. I kept hearing trans. Oh.
You can also talk about trans.
I mean, döner is definitely... Is döner a trans food?
No, I don't think so.
Doesn't have enough estrogen in there.
Depends where you get the meat
Put
from.
more estrogen in the döner. Force femme döner. Force femme döner.
Of course.
Has a lot of trans fats, though. Yeah, true.
I mean, it's trans-cultural, so I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, in the sense of, I was sadly too slow to take a picture, but I think yesterday or so there was a truck driving past me. I think it was a Polish company, but the name was Paw Trans, and I was like, damn, a company for the transferries.
I remember, didn't you want to put in the old graphic cards of yours into my PC?
Yes, I wanted to do that, but we never have gotten to do that because
We
you
play
always...
stuff. Yeah.
No. The problem is, I wake up, you wake up, and before anything happens, you just you make some quick breakfast. I'm like, yeah, okay. You're like, to your PC. I'm at my PC. Time to do something while she makes dinner. Breakfast. Sorry, it's breakfast. I'm like, okay, cool. And you know what? There are a few hard things in this world, but one is, can you please turn off your PC? You're going to be like, but I'm currently grinding in Ragnarok Online. And this attempt was futile again. So this is why I couldn't do it last year. So, you know. Whoops. But yeah, I mean, nothing funnier than seeing someone have some truck with trans on the side and some other word.
Yeah.
You can make so many jokes out of that. Make me download Raw out of nostalgia. I mean, Classic Raw is definitely it's weirdly frustrating, but then you still like it.
Hey, I got 3 cards today.
Yeah, you got 3 cards today. I mean, making the Hydra card is good. It's a Hydra card.
The mark card is good as well, and the
Okay,
pest
true.
card is good as well.
And the pest, you told me the pest card is there for like weird super novice builds.
Yes, so A, I can do a weird supernova's build, or B, I could sell it for someone who wants to make his weird supernova.
You have never done a weird super novice build. Don't lie to me.
I did.
Never, not in the 10 years that I have been with
in
you.
the old days.
Ye olden days,
Yeah.
where you just have the weird builds.
Yeah.
But I just have to trust you that you made them. You totally made them. Sometimes I don't trust you. Yeah. I mean, how was that? Fish were today extra bonus XP, and you went to an party, and
Yeah.
you actually got a level,
Yeah.
and it was still draining.
Yeah, and another party wasn't that good. The wizard was shitty and kept dying because he was stupid and couldn't cast Ice Wall properly, or just had the decency to stand on top of the cliff instead of down there so he wouldn't get hit because he's stupid.
That is low-level wizard play. I should make a wizard to take that spot.
Maybe. So we basically ditched the wizard and got someone's guildmate with a 98, how's it called, Iron Body Monk to help. So he just tanked the Novians for us.
I mean, monk, I suppose. La.
Yep.
Have some mystics and bard. So we're gonna have some mystics and bard. We'll see. We'll see. We still have to wait again. By the way, so just so you know, we have the Marina Kingdom in Agonia's hands, which will.
Hey. My queen is poisoning people to find out if they're guilty or not.
Please, what?
Yes, it's an actual event. I can stop that when she's dead.
I have never thought that Madagascar has this wild of a start.
It's just I have a high. It's not really much interaction. It's just heightened mortality rate, because everyone who is suspected of crime basically gets poisoned, and if they die, then they're guilty.
I guess that's how it works. That works.
That's the gist I got from the little text.
Was this a real thing?
Maybe in some form. I don't know.
Still wild to hear about that. That's like. That's just like, oh hey, yeah, it's just okay. Okay, I guess.
Yeah, and you're gonna play Bali?
I'm gonna play. So, for everyone who's wondering, where is Bali? So, Bali is part of Indonesia, but it's neither the Dutch East Indies, it's not one of those, it is them. They are so small. Still. Hello, Claire, we are still waiting for Zeb, but yeah, welcome to the Buff Bali playthrough and shitting on Britain. So we will try to we probably just invade over here and get some coal and iron, and then we will build some major industry.
If you declare war on me, I have a big coal deposit.
And how would that help me?
I can trade you.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, basically the major plan I will have is build boats, go to other nations.
I want to build boats, but I can't. I need 3 techs for that. I am the unnaval island or something. I don't know. It's
Why don't
weird.
you're one hell of an island and you don't have boats?
I don't even have docks.
What the fuck is wrong with Madagascar? You sit on so much good resources.
I don't have iron, so
Yeah, fair.
I would literally need to import your iron, because otherwise I can't even build aggressive boats.
Let's kick all the Dutch. Yeah, that will be a plan. Honestly, we have no idea how far we will come. Maybe we'll just crash and burn today, and then we will see how Ah. Yeah, there is,
Stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff.
there is an interference, but
Yeah.
in a second. I mean, yeah, maybe Qing doesn't interfere. It's so funny that Qing basically controls Lan Fang and nothing else, which is just like, okay.
They control something.
They control Lan Fang, basically.
No,
They're tributary.
They also control something else. Yeah, not there.
I mean,
No,
no.
it's not shown. If you go a bit up north,
Oh, north. You mean
more north,
I can invade?
more north.
Yeah, I know they control all of that.
No, they control a certain thing there. It's blue.
I mean, you mean Korea?
Yeah.
I know that.
See? They control two things.
But yeah, I'm currently running the Dawn of Wonder background because I felt like I should just... I had the French one so far and had the normal one. Let's just use the third background and have some fun stuff, you know, here. Those are high quality... Are those taking resources? What the fuck? Oh well. I haven't looked at the site. There are some quality objects here.
There's bamboo,
Yes, there's bamboo.
which we still haven't found in our Minecraft server.
Oh yeah, where the fuck is the bamboo in Minecraft? We have found a lot. It should be around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today on a desk in the Oh, I mean, hey, the British even steals their own shit in their own country. Like, it's the Brits. They want to steal shit, which is like, yep.
But yeah, but please declare war on me to open my market.
Okay, so you want to have open markets.
Yes, I would like to have an open market.
I mean, if I can even.
You just need to declare. Or
You
even
know,
better, I declare on you, and you can reverse declare, and then just give up, and you get the war goal of opening my market.
we can actually do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can actually have some influence.
Yeah, I have one.
It's weird that you don't have ships, though.
I have influence over the seas without ships. The power of prestige.
Yeah. Oh, well. It's so funny that the Brits... It's kind of funny to think that the Brits are like, hey, we can't just give shit back. Why? Because our legal system is rigged by the rich people's descendants who looted all that things, and they don't want it back. Want to give it back. And you're like... Oh, but, like, seriously? You need another influx of Frenchness, Britain. Like, you've been isolated for too long. And with another influx of Frenchness, I mean the whole guillotine thing. It would probably help a lot, is what I'm saying.
Lots of countries could use some guillotines.
We have abandoned the guillotine way too fast. The metaphorical guillotine, I might say. We shouldn't just give out death sentences to people.
Yeah, not very helpful.
That's definitely not helpful. We have enough data on that the death sentence is very stupid. Resurrects Robespierre. Okay, honestly, we have so much. Honestly, it would be very funny if someone would actually. Oh god, now I have this dumb idea. Like Robespierre wakes up in another world, just does the same shit again. Robespierre is like.
But way later, Captain Robespierre.
Captain Robespierre. We've abandoned the routine way too fast. It's certainly a thing to hear when opening the stream. What did you expect? This is probably the... so first of all, this might be one of the most leftist Wiki 3 streams that is still out there. Because so far, I think most people have abandoned streaming Victoria 3. I am legitimately probably one of the few people on this site that has continuously produced Victoria 3 content for the last year. Second, I'm pretty sure I'm the only Victoria 3 VTuber out there. I mean, seriously, is there another VTuber that is actively streaming Victoria 3?
Not that
I'm
I
the
know.
only one. I'm bringing the leftist orange cat idiocy to Victoria 3. I should be recognized for my efforts. Read my Wiki 3 streams, got it. Yeah, fun streams. But yeah, we should also build more trams. Honestly, this needs to go out. Like, so here's the thing. Since a while, there's like the bus that goes, between where I usually buy stuff and that like goes back. I'm like, it has to drive down a major roadway, and I'm just so sick of it. Like, if you live in a city, and there is a 4-lane road in that city, and there's an intersection with another 4-lane road, screw that. Rip it all out. But then there's not enough places for cars anymore. Shut the fuck up. 4-lane roads in cities are inefficient as fuck. Like, I can't tell you how much I despise 4-lane intersections. Like, the amount of weight you need to do to just, if you have to take a corner, it is bullshit. It is such an inefficient and dumb design done by absolute morons who are like, we need to have more cars in the city. You do not have the space. Cars are inefficient. Literally rip 2 out, place tram lines there, and you have literally tripled or quadrupled the fucking capacity of the road. And you're like, but it's just one tram. One tram can hold up to 4,000 to 5,000 people. There's a way more no, it can't hold that, but like, you have so much more throughput on trams on a roadway with right of way than cars. Just build more
I mean, assuming they are roughly moving at the same speed.
Yeah. And
how many people fit in a normal tram?
I don't know. Sorry, I was kind of fucking up the numbers. Yeah, that would be a gigantic tram. It's more like if you have
a very long tram, or a very high tram, like 50.
Oh no, way more. Way more. But let's just look. So it has
119 sitting places I saw.
That's an older one, but that's an older one. I just take it as the average one which is also like high floor thing. But yeah. There are 117 sitting places and 102. So roughly
and
126 standing places, but you can still squish them together a bit. So that's over 200 people.
Roughly 200. Okay.
Roughly 200 people in one.
And how many cars of space would that be?
One. Literally just one. It is...
No, I mean, like, how many cars could fit in that place? Let's imagine small cars, not the big cars. I guess 2 or 3?
Let's just look. So, I say that the most average car I think of, and this is a small car, by the way, is the VW Golf. I think this is the most average car anyone needs. Mm-hmm. It is roughly 4,284 millimeters long. So,
what the fuck? Why in millimeters?
I don't know.
So 4 meters?
Yeah, roughly 4 meters, I think.
Yeah.
That I don't know why it's in millimeters, but that's. They made cool trams and also buses and one. Oh, nice.
So,
let's just throw up a calc then, meaning we have 3, 7. That's easy.
4.2 meters.
I tip it. I put it in millimeters, so I'm like,
Oh.
so it's like, okay, that roughly makes 8 cars.
Okay, you can easily fit 4 people in a car, maybe like 6 or 8 if you're really, really desperate.
Yeah, 4 people. Let's say the average is like
5. Let's
Eight,
be
yeah,
generous
yeah.
to the car.
that would be 40 people.
And 4 motors that needed to be built.
8 motors.
8 motors, yeah. Sorry.
8. Yeah, that's 8 motors. That's 8 motors. 8 different tanks of gasoline to be filled, and that continuously work.
Even if they're like the best sourced electric cars,
It would still
it's
not
8
work.
motors.
Yeah. Sorry, we're not talking about shoot. You know what?
Hello.
Oh, there is Zeb. Hello. We can start soon.
Yes, sorry
You
about
guys-
that. Just stuff going on. It's just me and my mom this weekend, so
So just overload.
a little bit of overload and stuff to do. Because we can't have her walk the dogs herself because she's not strong enough to hold one of them. And so she can't. She can't hold both of them at the same time. So I have to go with her on walks.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so until Zeb is in, I just put up my favorite choo-choo. The DR01.
That looks nice.
It's just a wonderful, well-made locomotive.
Anarchist locomotive.
What?
It's an anarchist locomotive.
And yeah,
Anarcho-communist
basically
locomotive.
German steam engines were around the turn of the century were painted in anarcho-communist colors. Yeah, I know, but I love the contrast. It's just they're black and the
Black
red.
and red was always a fine contrast.
It is one hell of a great contrast. Like the thing is, this just makes them look very industrial, but also high maintenance. So they you don't really have to wash them a lot. They're black, easy. But the contrast with the red wheels is just like, mwah. You're like, oh yeah, you really focus on those big working wheels, and those were good locomotives, by the way.
Honestly, the red wheels kind of look sexy.
Yes, I know people are like, oh, this is my favorite steam engine. This is my favorite steam engine, but I'm
And
like,
if they get black and dirty, you see it very easily and can just
but they're also contrasting it.
but
it's
you
like,
can just high pressure water.
yeah.
That's fine again.
They were used until the 50s. They were like, those are like, you basically still have them in, museum drives here. I really wanted to have one as a model once. Never got it. I blame my parents for being bad parents in that part.
I recall so this is one of the trains that I actually recall from my childhood, that this was a very popular train to get in America.
Really?
Yes.
I thought Americans also had a lot of black trains. I was surprised to hear that, apparently German trains were popular.
Yeah. It wasn't as popular as stuff like Big Boys and some other American trains that are relatively famous, but as far as like non-American trains, that one was pretty popular.
Maybe could have. So yeah. Oh, so you're in the game, Zep?
Yes, I'm in.
Nice. So then we can actually switch back. So, what were you playing again? I forgot. Was it?
The plan was Cuba. Well, at least that's what we talked about.
Yeah, Cuba or Haiti. But if you want to do Cuba, and get the whole of the Caribbean, I guess also Central America. Be my guest. It's we're gonna make island empires anyway, so.
Let me flip a coin on this, because I tried a Cuba campaign last night, and everything was okay, with the exception that I'm a puppet, so I can't do shit.
Okay, yeah.
economy until Spain had a revolution and I lost my puppet status and became free and was like, I'm in the middle of trying to like make a self-sustaining economy, but I'm not there yet, so I can't. If I join a customs union, I screw myself over again. But I also don't have the means to sustain myself at this point. So I'm gonna flip a coin on that. If it's heads, it will be Cuba. If it's tails, not. Well, it'll be Haiti. So flip a coin. Heads. So I forget what I said, but I
think it was Cuba.
Yeah. So Cuba it is.
Well then, let's do this. Everyone, welcome to the first Viking 3 stream of the year, and let's build some choo-choos.
Well, that will take a while.
It will take a while, especially when we're...
I have one production research, one military research, and one society research. So...
That's not good.
No, it isn't.
Let me just have a few decrees. Yeah. There we go. Look on the bright side, the only way to go is up. Yes!
That's true.
That is very much true. I have to build one here. And otherwise, that should be fine. So basically my first plan is to get some build power, get some wood on the way, and then... so what can I do? I can do local police force, but... yeah, no, I don't want slave trade. That's bad. Why is everyone for slave oh, the rural folk? What the fuck is wrong with you rural folk? Who is here actually?
They assume they will not be slaves. I would say.
They're a land reformer. Okay. I have not seen land reformer as a trait yet, so I'm just very surprised.
It's
So we have a
decent
royalist.
trait. Sometimes it's good in the beginning. Sometimes it's actually difficult to deal with if you get too many of them.
Homesteading, cook. You know what? Let's just see. Can I actually put them into the government without
You can.
Yeah, that wouldn't really help with the landowners. They're kind of too powerful right now. Ironically, I can put in the armed forces.
Yes.
who are Republicans. I love how the armed forces can just sometimes be wildly positive forces in a country.
Yeah, sometimes it's either the armed forces or, more surprisingly, sometimes the church.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
the
fact,
the
actually,
church
I'm
can
going with
sometimes be
church
really good, that's true.
The church gets really good when you get corporatism and a couple of other stuff, especially if you've got one of the better traits for the church. IG, like for Catholics, you get the birth rate.
Yeah. It's no more king time now, the armed forces. I mean, okay, I know...
Should we start, by the way?
We should start and go. I mean, we need to point out the fact that a lot of armed forces back in the day were... I mean, let's just put it like this. It depends on how they were raised, because, like, a lot of them were like, so we enforce the power, why don't we hold the power in some form?
Of course, British Kenya is being established.
What? Okay, what the fuck? Okay,
That's what the Brits do every game.
Okay, this is speedrunning Kenya. Can you stop, Britain? This is... I know you're fast, but this is obscene.
Well, they start with colonization and everything.
I know, but they have never gone so fast for Kenya,
No.
ever.
This patch, they will every time, basically.
I would say every time. I've had one time out of like 6 games where they haven't done that.
That's
But that was possibly because I was in their market and colonizing Kenya. So
So
the
let's...
AI does tend to not encroach on somewhere that their market is colonizing actively.
How about that? I will attack you with my no boats to make you tributary,
Yeah?
and you will do all the progressive war goals against me, and then I will just give up and let you enforce them.
What?
Yes! Okay, let's just do that.
Okay.
Decline.
Yeah, decline. So now you give all the
I can't do.
open market.
Open market.
Yes,
Open Kenyan market, and
that's fine.
that's that. Ethiopia be like Kenya not. I see the really bad puns are coming back. Cheers, Marika. Also see you working again on Casa de Brick. On the Minecraft server.
Oh, yeah.
It looks quite fine.
We couldn't play today, but yeah, we were a bit active the last days.
Yeah, the witch house is coming to shape.
We have an improved temporary storage system.
Super proud of that one. We will still build on this, but yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I haven't really done anything to my beach house. Partly because I've been occupied at times, and I had trouble logging in one day.
On one day we also had trouble logging in, but that was probably the server provider that had problems.
Yeah, they had
Probably.
something. Yeah, need a lot more brick. At least there is more. There is a lot more clay now, and you can create clay out of mud.
Can you? Oh yeah, right.
You need to put dripstone under a over. Yes. No, under. You need to put a dripstone under a mud block, and then it drains the water out.
Oh, that's what you mean.
That's what.
Well, I traveled 4,000 blocks to find an ancient city.
Yes, and you found an ancient city.
Yes.
So for everyone who is like, oh, what are they talking about? Well, for this month, our wonderful community here has a Minecraft server rented. Who's like on the Discord and wants to play, you can get whitelisted and build. And at the end of the month, we're gonna make an update on how the server has been. And if enough people want to keep playing on this very nice, very small, very queer server, we can maybe see if we can finance it keeping out for a whole year. and then I would definitely make updates on that.
The back down button, it would be nice if the back down button would tell me exactly what happens if I click it, and not yield your position in this diplomatic play. Yeah, okay.
What happens is that all primary war goals apply. If it's not a primary war goal, it will not apply.
I mean, I guess, but I could just write it there, like, none of your war goals will be enforced, and every primary war goal on you will be enforced, or something.
Yeah.
Weird war. Do you accept this peace deal?
Hey, what?
This peace deal. This peace deal. Please
I can't.
accept it.
I can't.
You can! You just need to click the button!
Oh.
Oh, you're free trade now. Great! We have lost prestige. Why? Because I lost the war? I can trade now!
I'd be willing to support the server. Oh yeah, we definitely need people to get onto that because like a whole year is a bit costly, and I will not be able to shoulder all of that on my own.
Probably, but we can discuss this in the server.
We can discuss it in the server, but can you train now? No, sorry, not yet. Like,
But
just so you
Bali
know,
can't think of trains yet.
yeah, Bali can't think of trains yet. I am going to research them. Don't worry, I just need different stuff. Hello, Shadow Claw. I am playing Buff Bali. Okay, we're still small Bali, and we're not buff yet.
Supposed to be Buff Bali.
We're buff in the future Bali. Yes.
Also, Bali is orange on this map. Well, it's a darker shade of orange, but orange still.
I mean, since
it's
Nya's
not
orange
pink.
is supposed to be a darker shade of blonde.
Shut up. Also, Sophie, those are wonderful trains, not going to lie. I love some old train. I love some old train designs. Yeah, so great. Especially when people don't know some of them. Butch Bali. Are we going to lesbify a whole nation now?
I mean, why not? How important are frigates versus man o' wars? I guess man o' wars are more for naval combat. And
It's a little a stats thing. It's kind of vague, but the stats apply differently based off of what kind of
yeah, it's like convoy raid
like-
or not. Convoy.
yeah. If you're doing convoy raiding, I think frigates are better. The only thing that man of wars are better at doing is intercepting other navies.
Yeah, like, and killing them. They have better stats.
Yeah. But if you're doing things like convoy escorting or raiding,
Ironically, they have like 3 times the man o' war's input, but not 3 times the offense.
yeah,
Not even 3 times the defense. Even less.
I think the value is in the what is it? I'm pretty sure that the value comes mainly from the damage that it does to manpower. So, like, man of wars will have a higher efficiency rate for the manpower that it both loses and that it damages to the enemy fleet.
Mm.
And it's also valuable because it also kind of makes up for the not having 3 times damage, because you can have higher damage, like because of the recruiting times for naval officers, which is a lot longer than regular officers for your army.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I should build as many of those as I can.
Depends on what you want to do. If you want to actively engage enemy navies, then yes. If you don't want to actively engage enemy navies and you just want like naval invasions, then no.
Yeah.
Generally,
Beginning frigates if you want to stomp England, the other stuff.
yes. Generally, I'd advise, especially if you're going to go up against a minor powers navy that's maybe not that big, go with like 4 frigates and 1 man of war, at least, so that you can contest stuff a little bit.
Yeah, the man of war will
delay.
have to wait. I need to research navigation and admiralty,
Yeah.
so it will take a while. And I'm still not sure what the optimal research path here is. Maybe I should research academia first.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Or I don't know if I can sustain it.
my experience is that you want to get academia so that you can at least get the I think it's
Education access?
because I think it's so that you can get the education access, which will increase your tech spread, I think. But immediately after academia, you want to go for stock exchange.
True, stock exchange is one of the best techs, if not the best tech, in the early game.
It's probably the most important tech early game, followed up by, depending on whether you have it or not, lathe, atmospheric engine, or intensive agriculture. Which that last one depends on what your economy is looking at.
Yeah, lathe is kind of like lower priority now since they made stock exchange that good.
Yeah, the only reason why I say lathe is because a lot of countries don't start with it, and it's the last tech that they have to do on tier 1.
Yeah, for mechanical tools.
And in early game, you don't gain value from it's actually detrimental to try and rush techs ahead of time in the early game.
Mostly, yeah.
In fact, I've found in the past that it's better to just go with whatever your tech spread is and boost that so that you can speed through lower techs faster.
I mean, sometimes it's nice to get atmospheric engine pump to like 80%. Because I'm not sure that tech spread seems to gravitate to things you need not much of to finish it.
I don't know how the numbers run on it. It's kind of random because there are times where tech spread will go for an ahead of time tech.
Academia, Romanticism, Stock Exchange, that's not a bad plan. I'm actually going for Stock Exchange because, we definitely need Stock Exchange to do stuff like corn laws. We can lespify an entire country. I guess so, but we still should ask the people from that country.
So the thing with Romanticism is it's kind of specific. Like, it's very good if you specifically need it.
I would go with Empiricism.
Which is like, if you're in a market, then you want it because you want to get greener grass campaign. If you're stuck on traditionalism and don't really have access to interventionalism yet, then just rush for Romanticism because if you don't have time to research it, then you're going to want to go into agrarianism, at least as like an in-between.
Yes, in between it can help.
Yeah. So, but if you already have, if you're already off of traditionalism, which you guys aren't, then romanticism is important to research. With the exception being, as I mentioned, that you have access to interventionalism, which is where I actually don't know where that is on the tech tree. Just a base one, or is it? Oh well. Either way, it's a useful tech, but it's specifically in a 50-50 situation. I would say that it might, if you're trying to play a tech game, then empiricism, so that you can get dialectics, is important. The reason, though, why I say lathe is because it makes your textile mills and your consumer goods a lot more efficient. It makes them insanely more efficient from the base levels, and it allows you to get off the shopkeeper ownership.
You need it for mechanical tools anyway.
Oh, they just cancelled it now. It's wonderful.
That too.
Just adopt the force fem law. Oh, we should definitely have force fem laws in Wiki 3.
No.
Yes! Reject capitalism, embrace distributionism.
I mean, this is a game about despotism, right?
And kind of nepotism.
Yeah. So, I guess it could be. We'll have to wait for the meme DLCs to come out.
Yeah, that's like...
I'm saying nothing against Laugh, but I think most of the time when you research it, you still, with most countries, people normally play occupied with building more construction before you even get much money with them, but yeah, it's important still.
Yeah, it's... The thing about construction is it's a very militaristic way to improve your GDP. In fact, it's really the best way to go if you are going militaristic. But if you're going standard of living and with a focus on standard of living and even just tech and other stuff like that, then generally you'll want to get lathe a little bit sooner, just so that you can get your industrialists into power. And so that you can get rid of the landowner influence.
Sure, but if I have more construction, I have more money, therefore more universities, therefore more research. And
yeah, it all depends. It's intricate enough that it has the nuance that you can either go for that, or there are times where the consumer goods are actually important to at least start building up.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you kind of want the construction sector, because it increases consumer goods stuff.
Yeah.
It makes people not be in subsistence farms in the long run, and thus you will have more need for consumer goods, so you can finally build consumer goods.
What a lovely game. Just, talking about how to do more industry.
And how to force the peasants to not be subsistent anymore.
We are such nice people, do you know that? Okay, so... You talk very fast, both. I need to... I need to, adjust myself to what I can actually... Sucata is so not worth... They have some sulfur, but... Not worth invading yet. Jambi is in the Dutch market, so no. They have iron and sulfur. They have coal, sulfur, and
You
iron.
do not have boats.
I do not have boats yet.
Yeah, I'm rushing for boats, actually.
We both need boats. I can probably build boats already. Yes, I can build shipyards.
I can't.
I need to build one, at least. And then I definitely need to build... Why can't I build a naval base?
I think you don't have
You don't have shipyards in your. You
Ah.
don't have.
it's
Yeah.
not a base anymore, it's stuff you build with your military, so your navy
Oh.
specifically. And since you haven't even officially made a navy, you cannot build a naval base for that not existing navy.
That is... I mean, I guess, but also...
It's weird, and it's not completely overhauled, I guess, yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they just use old stuff, which is
Yeah.
resource
I
efficient.
think the current navy is in. It's a system that's in transition to become better. They've actually said that they have something planned out for it. I think was mentioned in the. I think it was mentioned in the roadmap that they released back in November. I want to say. But yeah, basically they have a system that they have planned out for the Navy that's going to change that, and hopefully that will also include changes to the way in which navies are constructed.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's still definitely like a very big, work in progress. I do like the point that they want to make ships more unique. So, having a good ship is very important.
Problem is that all of those ships take way too long to build still.
Yeah, true.
But then again, you can upgrade your frigates to
I always just support a good transition.
true.
Yes! Fair point.
From frigate to ironclad to battle Frankie.
Yeah.
I have not much space on this tiny little rock.
You don't have space.
I mean, you have two states.
Yeah, but they both don't have much infrastructure.
Fair, but you could build ports.
Yeah, that's the plan. Last time I tried, the subsistence farms were too attractive, so nobody wanted to work anywhere.
They fixed that bug.
It literally happened today.
Mostly. They mostly fixed it. What you need to do is you need to build a little bit of consumer goods so that the subsistence farms aren't making nearly as much money from the consumer products that they make.
Yeah.
So so they make grain, services, furniture, clothes, liquor, wood, and fabric. You need to make all of those
Cheap.
be not so profitable, which means that you need to diversify your economy enough so that you're producing each of them outside of the subsistence farms.
Wasn't subsistence farms like a building?
It is.
Not here.
Click on your arable land.
Arable. Wait. Arable land.
Look at the state level. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
in your building browser,
There.
it's on the state level.
Ah, okay.
And then the employment is literally just the building level based off the building level that it can be, which is your total arable land.
Mm-hmm. Most money they make currently with clothes.
Yep.
Well,
How unexpected.
how very unexpected. People want to wear shit. Bugs fixed the I mean, that's kind of something that kind of sums up everything, Paradox Interactive does, like the Paradox Interactive devs do. But apparently this is also just part of Clausewitz, which they don't move from because Clausewitz still provides something of value, which is like, I get it, but they definitely need to do an overhaul one day, and not like the Bethesda overhaul, AKA, it looks a bit nicer. The rest
Looks
is
a
still
bit nicer and has one like new interesting system, and the rest of the game is worse than what we made before that.
You mean Wait, what was it called again?
Starfield.
No, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about something else
You
that
mean Fallout
bothered
76?
me. No, I'm thinking about something else that bothered me recently. Yes, innovative gameplay. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Starfield apparently has the most innovative gameplay.
Please, what? Who said that?
Steam. Have you seen the results of the Steam Game Awards?
No.
I am miffed. Like I am upset
Oh,
specifically about 2 games.
Let me guess. The
Red Dead
turf
Redemption. Red Dead Redemption for Labor of Love. That game has not been updated in over a year. How is that a labor of love?
I mean,
And-
probably took years to build.
So you mean the Steam Awards are even more of a mess than the Game Awards?
How unexpected.
That's what you get for relying on a Prussian general to say me. Yeah, I guess. I mean, you have to admit, Prussian generals were very efficient at what they did. I mean, they were good at war and planning, so
And abuse.
probably also abuse.
Yes.
Well, you know how Prussian generals got to be part of how they got to be like that, right?
I've seen someone say that those two were deliberate sarcastic votes, but who knows how accurate it is. Yeah, it's like, I think the worst part about that is simply that, those sarcastic votes can actually, like, sway a lot. And, that also just kind of sucks, if you're honest, because, I mean, if you do that, you're just kind of taking, you're just kind of taking air away from literally everyone else. I mean, from what I saw, I think, the turf game also got promoted in a few places where it's like, hey, Steam, has literally no one of you ever went over the Steam Awards and were like, maybe we should cull some of those because they're definitely...
So that game won the Best on Steam Deck, which barely...
Oh my god, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
My understanding is that the devs actually, took a lot of time to optimize it for Steam Deck.
But still, there are
That
so
was
many
fun,
games
but,
out there
yeah.
that you can play on Steam Deck. It's like, it probably was the one category where not enough people voted and they just swung all their, might, and that is probably more the reason. When I'd like to farm Arab substance.
I know what's...
Oh god, Marika, really? You want Ara?
Yeah.
Ara? So,
Yeah.
what?
I don't know what the reason was that it was voted, but I presume the people voting for it know what they're promoting at this point.
Very much. They, those were the people that made us think about it. It wasn't being at the Game Awards because it sold so well. Listen, fuckers. Even though I can say a lot of people at the Game Awards don't have, sweeping knowledge of everything, the Game Awards basically write to hundreds.
Yeah, you don't need
Yeah,
to...
they write to hundreds of journalists around the globe, journalists who have, and I need to point that out, covered the turf game from front to end on all sides, asking, what are your submissions for that category? If your game, if your turf game isn't showing up there after polling hundreds of journalists around the globe, again, who have covered your game, who have not spoken out against all the bullshit behind that game, your game wasn't that good. The only reason you got one award was probably literally the whole, most people will not look at the Best on Steam Deck award, and you just flooded it. Like, it's very obvious what happened there. Everyone's game is anything, least of all taste and good sense. Yeah.
I will say, though, that the winner for Better with Friends award was Lethal Company, which
that was kind of to be expected. Let's just be real here.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Here's the thing.
There's also recency bias for that, too.
Yeah.
True.
You know what? I'm just gonna be honest with you here. if you're like, oh hey, Labor of Love and something like with Red Dead Redemption, I'm like, that game hasn't been updated in years. You know what? I understood even the whole cyberpunk thing, even though it was not an ongoing game, which is like Game Awards. It was just finished and got a DLC. That is not a live service game.
Also, the thing that won people over with that game though was the fact that the DLC was
Good. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But still, when you do ongoing game, it means stuff like live service game. And it still kind of pisses me off because, as you probably all know,
I mean, then Victoria 3 is also ongoing.
what? Yeah, Wiki 3 is also an ongoing game, and they just made one of the best updates last year for free. Was that covered anywhere? No. Okay. Wait, why is Wiki 3 not on that list? Otherwise, yeah, the awards got trolled hard. That's true.
I
As
mean,
you
half
probably
the problem with the Steam Awards is just at its core the nominations.
Yeah.
They're not that good.
I think that's the core problem with Steam. Steam does a lot of good things, but at some point, they will just hide and ignore responsibility for anything. Like, why the fuck didn't Alex Jones game get onto Steam? Like, seriously, game. We have this literally every half a year that some vile game comes onto your platform that no one else would let onto their platform. Like, I get it. For the indie market to really flourish, having like an open basis so everyone can maybe put out their, small boomer shooter made in GZ Doom that maybe isn't the best but has something and can get an audience, or someone can put up their RPG Maker project and stuff. That's fine. Even I still need to get back to it, but I'm trying to learn to code, and my plan is that I want to make small games that I maybe can put for $5 onto Steam. That is good, but you still need to moderate at some fucking point. You can't just throw your hands in the air and be like, it's democracy. Democracy needs shielding so it doesn't get abused.
Mm-hmm.
Da, 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 da. But yeah, and yeah, if it's about Labor of Love, I mean, as you probably noticed from Twitter, I like playing Battlefield. Battlefield literally turned itself around in the last 2 years and now has more a workforce, more funding from the publisher because it increased such in player base. Which is like, okay, why was that on no list? But then again, there's this hyper focus on people of just looking at a few very major things and not what is going on behind the scene on many other games. I mean, hey, most people have not covered Turbo Overkill, and that one was like one hell of a good game this year.
I built a millet farm.
Nice.
Watch out for my millet.
Actually, you should watch out because you have parakeets on your island, and they will want your millet. Like the burbs love millet.
Yeah, that's what the millet is for.
Ah, so you feed it to your burb army.
Yeah. I don't need boats if my people can fly on lots of tied together flocks of birds.
Ah, so that is the...
It would be a loud and colorful invasion.
Alright, I forgot that was a thing. Millet, I'd like to... okay. Wonderful.
I think a lot of my strength is going to depend on, economic strength is possibly going to depend on whether I can get colonialism enacted sooner rather than later.
Probably.
Because ideally, I'd start colonizing everywhere, and I trade territories to get a solid just at least one or two solid states in Africa. Via agreement with like the British and French or whatever. Because there's a couple of industries that I just don't really have good access to. I mean, I can steal Santo Domingo from Haiti if I really want to, if I really need the dyes later.
You
But
can steal Haiti.
yeah, but the problem is going to be, I think, if I remember correctly, the problem that I'm going to run into is lead.
Oh yeah.
And probably, well, I can probably go to Central America for rubber. Well, actually, North Indians are going to be good for rubber. But yeah, lead is going to be a big problem for me for most of the game, probably.
Oh, nice navigation. That just took way too long. So I need a shipyard and a port.
Well, you know what? Since we're waiting here a bit,
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna post some old trains in the infrastructure channel as well. I like this one.
But that's kind of the problem with Wiki right now. The smaller the nation you play, the slower and slower your start is.
And we can probably
Yeah.
go up to 4th speed right now.
Yeah.
Oh, probably, yeah, let's just do that. There we go.
I'm just like even on ×5 it takes a long while till stuff gets going.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they should just amp up the pacing of the game a bit, at least for the weaker countries. How exactly? Different thing.
Yeah, they'd have to. It's a difficult question. It's a difficult question to figure out how to do that, because if you amp it up too much, then it doesn't feel. Then it'll feel weird how a country can just all of a sudden go from nothing to super powerful just because a player has control.
I mean, I guess, but kind of like that's what made Paradox games fun and popular in the first place.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from with that. It's just there's how do I explain it?
Taxing tea, monstrous. I need the money. I can stop whenever I want.
I mean, there's certainly a not small subset of people who would like it to be slower. But then again, those are also the people who play in single player and can just go to 5 whenever they want. So if they want their games to be played in multiplayer in the first place, they would need, or would do the game good at least, to speed it up.
I think it depends less on. I think the solution might not be to speed it up, but rather to make it so that there's more to do for smaller nations early on.
Well,
Because not like in a make more clicks for them, but more like give you something that you can do to influence things. And I think that we might see that. I would hope that we would see that with spheres of influence, specifically when they talk about regional powers behaving like regional powers, instead of just kind of being an arbitrary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just feels like otherwise it's not very it's not very good or easy to do.
Yep. Because skill expression is a good thing, but if you have skill expression, of course the player will be way better than the AI. That's just how things will be. Unless you have some AI algorithm playing the game all the time or something.
I mean, you know
Which
what?
is a cost you probably don't want.
Maybe at this point this is actually the only way to, get good AI into a Paradox Interactive game. But, which is kind of fun to say because the word AI has been tarnished so much now that when I say, the machine learning thing for, gameplay is like older and it can be good, I'd say. But it will probably be very wacky if we implement that.
It's also hard to balance.
It's hard to balance, and it's also hard to, make a decent one that functions properly, because a lot of people who, for example, modders, they will create, better AI mods, but it's not actually improving the AI, it's literally just, it can improve them in specific instances, but it's usually scripting. And generally, scripting is so specific that it's not very good for games that are in development. Because the second that anything changes, there's a potential that scripting has become useless.
True.
I think the funniest part about that is... Oh.
Yes.
I think the funniest part about that is that... what's it called? Brain. I wanted to say something. So, if you look, for example, at bigger games like for Supreme Commander, for example, there was a very famous mod. How was it called again?
Zorian AI.
Zorian AI, and Zorian AI is good. Like legitimately, I'd say, if you actually want to.
It's not a game that changes that much.
Yeah, the thing about Zorian AI is that Zorian AI was back then, for the fact that this was other than they praised a very not that well moddable game, and also it's like a very large scale, very very complex RTS game. Zorian AI was to a degree good that you could say you could actually learn something from it to a degree.
You could,
but here's the funny part. If you actually play against Zorian AI, you just realize one thing. It's not like some crazy new AI, it's just someone sat down on the whole lists that AIs work off, and if then this is how most AIs just still work to this day, and literally just typed in how to play the game. That's the thing.
At least a general way of playing the game, which works.
Yeah, because when the game was made, a lot of people didn't, the devs didn't know what was the best way to play the game. So they programmed an AI with just an assumption what it was. And that AI wasn't good. This is why most AIs will just cheat. Because a cheating AI is easier to make, to make most people feel that it's difficult,
or at least challenging.
Then it actually is a good AI. But similarly, if you, for example, look at... also you have this problem that you're not allowed to make an AI too good. Again, not every player wants to play against, the most high-performing person all the time, always, especially when you're new.
It's just the whole, fun versus strong. Well, fun versus powerful.
And the let's say, the range where it is from player to player varies so greatly. I remember when Dawn of War Dark Crusade came out, people were desperately trying to beat the AI on easy.
Because they were
because for some reason, Dawn of War Dark Crusade attracted people who wanted to play the game, but apparently had never in their life before played an RTS. Or just something like Age of Empires 2.
Yeah.
Where the AI is kind of stupid. And map
And-
control isn't that important, and it's more a grind fest.
Yeah. And so that just kind
And
of...
that, for me, I can rush a AI on the highest difficulty down in 5 minutes. It's no problem. Okay, sure. But for everyone else, like, the forums were full of people complaining that the AI was too difficult.
Yeah.
And then most people who play online were like, yeah, the AI is kind of dumb. Because you could abuse it so easily.
Yes.
Which is like, it's in AI. For some people it's way too easy, for some people it's way too hard. And they're not small populations either. It's like fascinating to think about. Soonish.
But like that's also why I say the AI, for example, in StarCraft 2 is nowadays pretty alright. Which isn't because, they programmed something amazing. It's the StarCraft 2 mirrors Brood War so much they just typed everything in they knew from Brood War back then, and now they went and were like, hey, how about we just adapt to that what we learned about the current game.
I mean, there was also the whole deep learning shenanigans they pulled.
That they did that with someone else, but
Also with StarCraft 2.
on StarCraft 2, that was one of the first games that
That tried that. Which is understandably that the IS can easily get better in than a normal human player. Simply because they do not have APM restrictions.
Yep. So like,
And also, there's also the other side of that where the AIs can look at everything like in 1 second.
Pretty much, yeah, under 1 second.
Yeah, under 1 second actually. They know what's going on through the entirety of what they're allowed to look at or allowed to consider, because technically AIs can see everything.
Yep.
Um,
Remember
and
Advance
so
Wars? It's like Fog of War, only for you.
they can see everything. It's just whether the devs remembered to put in something saying you're only allowed to consider these.
Yeah. Which oftentimes they did not.
Mm-hmm. In the Total War community, we've had to learn this the hard way because of the Fog of War thing. And what we've learned is that just for the AI to be able to function efficiently and actually like think on and like behave on a scale that's kind of similar to a human that plans out their moves and like takes future planning and considerations and balance and all those other things into factor that the AI just doesn't.
Yeah. The AI can't
They allow
really,
the AI to see everything.
Yeah, the AI can't really plan ahead.
yeah.
That said,
I
the
mean-
way that the devs have made it so that we can contest that is that they've made it so that if your army is in ambush stance, the AI is told explicitly to ignore that army and forget that it's and to behave as if that army is not even there. Like all
Which-
factors of behavior regarding that army are like put to 0 or something like that.
Which probably leads to some hilarious cheese.
It does. Ambush cheese is very it's
like-
cheesy, but it's not super cheesy, and it's kind of fun.
It's a reliable way, like, it's reliable.
Yeah.
It works.
And yeah, it works, and the best part about it is that it doesn't feel like cheese, with certain exceptions. Because, I mean, in real life, it's not like the enemy is gonna know that you're gonna, or like they're generally not gonna on an ambush unless they know about it. So
I mean,
if you
yes.
take that out of consideration, the only like cheesy aspect to it, really, in my opinion, is the fact that they knew that an army was there at one point. Now they can't see that army. Maybe that army's so the AI doesn't really have a consideration of oh, maybe that army's laying in ambush. The only exception of that, in my, from my understanding, is that the AI still like knows what your full balance of like what your full strength is equivalent to. So when you're dealing with a situation where you only have like one army or two armies or something like that, the AI knows that you're still strong. They just don't take into consideration where your army is. So they may not attack if if they don't know where your army is. Because they still know that you're strong, that you've got that level of strength somewhere.
Kinda cheesy, but fun is good balance for Total War games, honestly. I can see that.
I agree.
Yep.
There's a reason why
Yeah.
Legend of Total War is a popular YouTuber.
I
He's
mean-
essentially the king of cheese in the community. That said, he's had his own problems in the past and even recently. But when he's having fun, people and at least I enjoy his content when he's having fun. It's when he gets negative that I stop watching.
Oh yes, so too many get too negative way too fast. Basically, I mean I'd say this on I say this in general, but like I kind of hate that when you bring up that someone is very obviously too negative for what they're talking about. It's always like what I kind of hate is that the discussion is always reframed by these people like, oh, what would I gain from pissing off people? Make forced controversy. Controversy. Like the thing is, a lot. I mean,
I think that you would you'd have fun going to town on the various aspects of the current Total War community.
probably.
Because there's just so much to unpack over the last 5 years or so, especially from like YouTubers, and all of the ways in which the community has responded to the stuff that Creative Assembly has done, both the good and the bad. And I think I heard the best analysis of the community last night, which was that the community went from being a community to a business.
Yeah.
When the pandemic hit.
I mean,
Like, it no longer felt like something that people got involved with because they cared about the community. It felt like it was more that they got involved because they had a vested interest in something, whether it's personal or not.
I mean, yeah. It just the thing about how people talk online about games and about how they are negative is like what I always be like, hey, if you think that let's cozy up to the Brits. So here's the thing. Like what a lot of people overlook is that every time something gets reframed as, oh, I don't get anything from tanking a review score or something, it's like, yes, you do. Especially if you're bigger and you are relying on merchandise, donations, etc. This isn't you. You do not really gain something from directly from pissing other people off. Aside from maybe attention. Like, let's just be real. There are people out there who,
Rage farming.
Attention, aka clicks.
Yes, some people literally just like attention. I'm
some
sorry.
People are just like terrible people.
That is one thing.
Pull it.
And especially, which is kind of funny when people are like, I really like the Three Kingdoms one because it have high drama with the duels and such with influence diplomacy, and Ziplo is usually a bit stale. Yeah. But the thing is, here's the thing: some people really just like attention. That's the thing. That can especially that can also happen in some forms of neurodiversity. This isn't to be like, oh, it's just again we have science there, and some forms of ADHD, for example, some people just really, really crave attention. And if they don't get it, they will make attention as much as they can. That is one factor, but it's not the major factor. I just want to bring it up because
also pretty much on how you learn to cope with that problem.
Yeah, true, but this isn't the major factor.
You can just go into a chat room and get attention.
True, true. It depends on what kind of reach you have.
You framed it very weirdly right now.
Oh,
just
sorry.
So you know.
I kind of want to get to the main point because, if you make money off of the internet, okay, being diversive makes you money.
Diversive.
Diversive, being being contrarian.
Then say that. Diversive doesn't say anything.
This is
no.
I thought this was a word.
It is a word, definitely.
Okay. If you're divisive, and if you. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was just stupid.
Rage farming, basically.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which side you piss off, at least one side needs to be angry. So they're engaged.
Yeah. So, they want slavery banned? Okay. Yeah, I know. I guess we do this now. Let's just see. But yeah, the thing is, if you make money from that, being divisive is like implying you can build straws everywhere. Oh no! We will build beautiful trains.
Okay, I have now the ability to produce angry ships. Thus, I will now think about rationalism.
Good.
Being rational comes with freedom of conscience and religious schools, apparently. It's weird.
Yeah. The thing is that if you look at, if you make money off the internet, being divisive and being contrarian makes you a lot of money. Let me be clear here. A lot of, but you have considered striveways. Oh god. It's when you're really making, if you're making online content, the one thing you really want to, if you especially if you're not that big, or and even if you're big, you want to have a loyal fan base. One of the easiest way to get a loyal fan base is make them feel like they are defending a worthy position. So yeah, shitting on a popular game, pissing off anyone else with that, isn't going to be that will not give you the immediate benefit. But everyone on your side already ready to defend you and be on your side, being like, hey, look, this is such a shit situation. Just add monorails. God. Maybe I'm lucky and everything just passes through so fast. So I just get on with it. So if you they will be more entrenched. They want to protect you even more. They want to even be more on your side. And yeah, there are a lot of people who are just, who just hate games or companies or anything because they like that. And then, if you just feed that, you will be able to sell them merch. You will be able to get those Patreon donations, because nothing, and I seriously mean that, nothing entrenches people more than when you're contrarian and you really write the idea that you are being unrightfully attacked. Yeah, they're called gamers. I mean,
Nowadays,
That-
yeah.
that- nowadays, yeah. I mean, again, even bigger ones who are like, oh, the fuck those gamers. They just do the same shtick. It's the same spiel on both sides. If one of this on each side realizes, hey, I can make more money out of that, or I can secure my income by just being contrarian, they will do that. Because it will make them money. It will make them be like, oh yeah, I get more money for that. And that's the thing. Just obviously shitting on popular things, even if it involves lying or over exaggerating things, that's just. That's literally just the thing that makes people money. Simple as that. You can't really be like, it's kind of amazing that every time this comes up that someone shits on a big game, gets called like, hey, you're really just unreasonably angry about a big popular game, and they just like, oh, what do I gain from that? Fucking money. Nothing is better than a radicalized fan group. Especially if you have catchy slogans you can print on shirts and really drive home that they're like, rebelling against some big guy up there.
Also, they need to be self-isolating.
And they need to be self-isolating, yes.
That's ideal.
I mean, that's why you got so many capital G gamers around the 2010s, because especially back then, there were, certain, YouTubers who really went cult behavior. It's basically cult behavior, yeah? I mean, to a degree it is. I mean,
depending on how you define cult, because that's actually pretty hard to define.
I mean, let's just be real. The whole PC gaming master race thing, when it came up, was definitely written to get people, especially younger guys, back then into this mindset that we are better. Sure, they always claimed it's just a joke.
Well, it was a joke.
I mean, it was a joke at first.
It was a joke, but then, so here's the problem. It was a joke, a genuine joke, and then people became serious about it because it persisted so long that younger people that were starting out into things were like, oh, it's not a joke. We are superior. That's how all of these things happen. It starts out as something unserious or a joke.
Not even that. Most of the time, those kind of things are made as a joke with exactly that intention.
And also I need to point out...
Because jokes are the number one defense of pretty much everyone, especially back then, more right-leaning.
Yeah.
To just say what they think in some way, to whatever minor topic, and get away with it. Because everything is just a joke, but a joke says something.
Yeah. And also I need to point out, yes, it was a joke, but it was also a pretty bad joke. I mean, let's be real here for 1 second. It was a bad joke because someone just basically did like, what if we went and basically just used a Nazi slogan? I'm sorry, that is not a good joke. That is, if you ask me, a pretty bad joke, actually. I mean, yeah, you're probably gonna be like, oh, really? Like, you want to judge jokes? Yeah, some jokes can just be bad. Like, just straight up bad. And, like... Yeah. It was a bad joke because it was so simple, and here's the thing. If you wouldn't take a Nazi slogan, a Nazi concept, and rebrand it for yourself, if you do not believe to some degree into it. And what did you get? Fucking Gamergate. I mean, sorry. Like, yeah, right-wing ideas were already there, but the whole idea of the PC gaming master race, which, yes, joke, by definition, doesn't equalize
The problem is when the main problem is when irony gets lost.
it. Yeah, but I feel there was not that much irony in there to begin with, as much as the creators claim it. Again, you don't come up with a rebranded Nazi slogan and then be like, why did I think about that first? Why didn't I think of something, I mean, here's the thing. If you want to, and I'm completely serious about that. If you want to make some quote-unquote propaganda for because this is propaganda. It is propaganda. Sorry. By definition, it's propaganda. You want to make propaganda for your favorite operating system, and
Or hardware of choice.
or hardware of choice. And I've seen back in the day, the main thing people held up was like, oh, but everyone can have a PC, the entrance is low, etc., etc., etc. So there's a lot of stuff that still gets repeated to today, even though PCs are vastly more expensive and age way more like military consoles. But anyway, the thing is, why the fuck did you go for the fascist propaganda? And why didn't you riff on the... And we can debate a lot about that, but it's arguably less harmful on the idea of, it's the people's gaming machine. Going for some more communist approach of, everyone can play on it, everyone can build one, everyone can help each other in it. You could have
that would
gone
be
for
positive and not smugly arrogant. That was the point.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if your first instinct is to go for rebranded fascist phrase, you were already believing a bit into that. It's just, else you would be like, why am I thinking about a fascist phrase right now? Just, glorious people's Yes! Yes! Thank you, Sophie! The glorious people's computer. That would have been one hell of a good branding. Yeah, would it have catched on that much? Who knows? They could have forced it. They could have made it. They didn't. So, I need to ask, why? Why didn't they? But yeah, friend computer. Yeah, okay. But that reference, not everyone knows that. Most enlightened computer lots, yeah.
And then we got Gamergate.
And everyone was like...
People were like, it's about ethical and game journalism. While at the same time, you could read on fucking 4chan people talking about that they will use it as a smokescreen.
Yep. I mean, not to mention the fact that the thing they did is they lied. They literally went to, the YouTubers that already threw around the whole PC Gaming Master Race shit. And those YouTubers then just regurgitated that.
Some of them, yes.
Some of them. Most of them in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then they never backpedaled. They were just like, oh, hey, probably a bunch of them realized they were like, oh, we just really got strung into a hate campaign. But then they were like, I'm not at fault. And also, Gamergate was good for business. Like, let's just be real here. Gamergate was fucking bonkers good business for a lot of them. Like, the reason a lot of them went into that was like, hey, I'm one of the good guys. We against them. Them was undefined. It was just like, the journalism.
That's not ethical?
That's not ethical, which is still weird because at some point it didn't boil down to... You could have realized that. If this was like... people were like, oh, this is us against IGN, because IGN is owned by a big company, but it then mostly hit Kotaku, which was at that point independent. Whoa, was there something else going on maybe that was not put on... That was not about some company selling out or something? Because, like, Jesus fuck, there were so many YouTubers that also sold out.
Did the critique that some companies sold basically reviews to get in the good graces of certain publishers and stuff? That was already critiqued before Gamergate, but Gamergate
Yeah.
never really was about that.
I mean, I think here's the thing. It is not that at that time you could say that a lot of stuff might have been
Yeah.
I just look that a lot of sites were like having aggressive, for example, advertisement and marketing. One of the main things is that they had a lot of, advertisements and stuff, and you were like, oh boy, that is like a lot. Which is, here's the thing. I think one of my best examples I want to point out, which just kind of deflates everything, is so the German gaming news website GameStar, which, I have to point out, I know people who work at the GameStar. I think they're generally a pretty good outfit. They have had and still have some pretty good people who, do in general a lot of very solid coverage of everything, and they have done that for decades. I have old, even the old prints. I have a small collection of them. I collected them for a few years. They still had gaming discs in there, with actual games on them. So like, free games from a magazine. That was neat. That's how you get Gothic in Germany. You buy the GameStar. It's just in there on the CD. And then you're in the Gothic chamber, like in the Gothic maelstrom. You can't escape anymore. But again, they're doing pretty solid job. They're not unfallible. They're like, there are things in there where I'm like, for example, why the fuck did you give the Supreme Commander 2 review to a guy that has never played RTS in his life until that point?
Or part 1.
Yeah. They weren't. I mean, I think back then the freelance market wasn't that big yet, so it was like, we need to get this review out, and we're just like, I can understand why it happened. It was still not good. Because it was not a good review, and it rightfully pissed people off when he said like, oh hey, no one understood the resource system in the first Supreme Commander anyway, which is like, excuse me?
Maybe simple. That's a fair point.
It's not that simple, but like, maybe don't lean out of the window that much. My guy, like, don't do that. That was really not the best review. But in general, they're doing pretty good work. Then a certain very infamous game happened. If anyone of you remembers Aliens Colonial Marines. A game that was basically over-promised, under-delivered, because, there's a lot to dive into that game. It was basically, they kind of had this, and then they realized Borderlands was better, then they made, Borderlands, and they were like, fuck, we need to end, we still need to wrap up Aliens Colonial Marines. And I remember the dancing alien, yeah. That AI was literally just, I think, a missing comma or point in the code. Very funny. That actually fixed it. Yeah, there's an actual AI fix. The AI isn't perfect, but still, it's kind of funny. So the thing is that now you look at stuff like how's it called? You now look at stuff like, how's it called? You now look at this game, and Sega back the day was like, we really need to market that game so people want to buy it. I mean, shit is probably why Alien Isolation underperformed and we never got a sequel to that masterpiece. You know what? I think this was also just due to the fact that Alien Isolation is a good game, but
Well, the other reason why we didn't get Alien Isolation, like why why it underperformed was partly because of the situation around the studio, around Creative Assembly, and the fact that Creative Assembly had other priorities that they were doing, and it was kind of a one-off game at the time.
yeah. Also, one of the things is that horror really only took off later. Like, remember that Alien Isolation is one of the few survival horror games that predates Resident Evil 7 and 2 remake. Survival horror really only got popular again after 7 and, like, let me put it like this. 7 and 2 remake were the two survival horror games that most people were able to actually finish and get into it. Like, Alien Isolation was probably just for a lot of people too dark, too long, and then you had the thing with, the alien. And I keep saying stalkers are a bad design decision because A, if you have experienced players, it will just piss them off, and B, if you have new players, it will just make them shit their pants. No one wins with them. Too long for its own good, yeah. But like, game journalism in general is another form of arm of marketing as a system, but GG love to blame individual people, often women, for this, giving flimsy pretend to harass and feel like a good person. Yeah, because that's the thing. But after, when Alien Isolation came out,
Which for some reason was pretty much always woman.
oh yeah, that was weird. Women and men defending women, but like men who said like this is weirdly about women, they got just wrapped into that, which is like, oh god, how did that happen? As if it was always about hating women. And also the original pretext was just literally fucking made up, like, oh, she slept with him for a good review score. A review that was non-existent, but even people just literally went la 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 la. Because the idea that if she did do that, it might have been a problem, and they're like, oh yeah, you really just want to. That's, again, even if we want to talk about like, oh, is there a problem with ethics, quote unquote, in big, big journalism? And it's like, again, Alien Isolation, Alien Colonial Marines came out days before that, and even on the day of the review, the website was like fucking full of Alien Colonial Marines advertisements. It was bonkers how much advertisements were there. And it was still not reviewed good. It was not reviewed good by most studios. I mean, there was a shit ton of advertisement, around Starfield. And Starfield didn't get, throughout well reviews from big magazines. And Starfield is now owned by Microsoft. They can pay them off if they want to. Like, there's reviews aren't worth that much. Like, there's 10,000 gaming magazines. Yeah. And that's the irony. I think the biggest irony about reviews and such is if you actually look at all of this, reviews can be worth, a bit of clout when you put together a trailer or something, like, oh, hey, look how much, how well we got, reviewed. And then you have the very funny thing that, Starfield had to be like, it's a 10 out of 10 from IGN Brazil. Oh yeah, IGN Brazil, the country that's very famously very Xbox focused. You're like, that is almost, that almost smells way more fishy than everyone being like, oh yeah, no normal IGN got paid off. Evaporated on impact.
With reviews, they used to be valuable. They used to be so much
They used
more
to
valuable.
be more valuable, yeah.
I used to subscribe to Game Informer magazine so that I could read reviews and find out about games. That's how I found out about games, because I was not online when I was younger, and so I would rely on figuring out what people were trying to say when they'd write reviews, and I'd be like, oh, this game seems interesting. This game doesn't seem interesting because of those reviews. And I trusted those reviews because more often than not, they're pretty decent and
Yeah.
pretty well written.
Yeah, nowadays Twitter does it. I think still reviews are fine, but this is more like, I know some people make good
Depends.
reviews and informative ones, but
Depends also really on how the review is structured. Like, sometimes it was just very, very subjective without making clear that it was subjective. And a good review, in my opinion, is more like, those are the things I'm considering mostly for a good or bad game of a certain genre, da 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 da. You know.
yeah, it's like you really need to figure out what is what, but
Yeah. Depends on the review. But back then it was pretty alright. It was mostly
it was
a
still,
description.
I'd say it's still alright today. Like again, most like a lot of websites, yeah, they definitely had a lot of ads, but like they didn't sell out. If mostly, I was there to Power Unlimited, General Gaming Magazine, which was also pretty cheap, so it was my teenage go-to. General, yeah, and for me it was like, it was the GameStar and GamePro. Like GamePro was more console focused, GameStar was the PC focused one, and you got free games in them. That was just neat. That was just really
Game
neat.
Informer was pretty good about covering both console and PC stuff. Although PC stuff wasn't quite as big back then as it is today.
Yeah, I think that is more to the fact that here in Germany, PC was like a bit more bigger, and the GameStar was basically founded for that, and then the GamePro was founded for when the consoles also. I mean, the consoles were always big, but it's like this just kind of happened.
I mean, back then, at least here in the US, PC gaming was, from my vision, like, are you playing Flight Simulator or some other game of that type? And there wasn't too much else and it wasn't just simulator games, but there wasn't a lot of variety, and a lot of the more entertaining games were on consoles.
Yeah.
At least the ones people knew of, I guess.
Fellow PU subscribers like the Belgian PC gamer, but they released the most recent list of lies. Okay, interesting. But
And
yeah.
I'll add on to my previous comment that a lot of what I'm saying is biased towards my experience, which was a very offline experience. So
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I was
Yeah.
to a degree very early online, but where I was online was also like, I was in locomotion forums, okay, and also like, ironically, I was the youngest person in a Hellgate, not Hellgate London, when the free to play thing came up, guild that someone just found online. They were like, "You're younger than 16 years," and like the guild leader was like, "I know we have this rule, but this person is nice, and I will vouch for them." So I got in there. I was literally the only young person in there, but they were all pretty chill. Oh, they were really nice. They were like mostly just adults playing Hellgate, and they were like, "You're nice. You're in our guild now." And then Hellgate just kind of closed down, and no one played it anymore. Good times. Yeah. I know. I mean, I have to say, like, if we want to talk biases in video game, in video game coverage, let's just be real here. The GameStar was probably way more biased towards literally German games. Like, yeah, there was a joke that they were basically up the ass of Piranha Bytes and the Delic. But here's the thing. Piranha Bytes and the Delic had one hell of a good output, and I will fully stand behind that decision. Like, oh yeah, Gothic was more janky than most American games. So what? Fuck you. Gothic was more in-depth than most American games. I said that. Gothic 3 is a buggy masterpiece, and you should all play it. And Gothic 2 is fucking amazing. Like, seriously, Gothic 2 is such a good game. Holy shit.
With or without Jerdap?
If you do not play Gothic with the Jerdab, you do not play Gothic. You're like,
Okay.
and I know. Mandalore played Gothic with the English dub, and he liked it. Mandalore, you're a fake Gothic fan because you have not played it with the German dub. The German dub is legendary. The game was made for the German dub. Also, you should play the original version that still has In Extremo concert in there. Okay? Thank you. He will never hear that, but I have to say that. Also, I just wish there was like an option in Gothic that you can play with Jerdab, but English subtitles, because then all of you could
Menus,
enjoy
obviously.
What?
And menus and stuff.
Add menus. I mean, Dutch magazines those days would be difficult to be biased to Dutch games, with Devilex then being the biggest developer of you're forgetting one really fucking big Dutch developer. Just saying. There's the Dark Days before Triumph. You know, Triumph still. Triumph, good games, but you're still forgetting a very major Dutch developer. A very major one, especially nowadays. And I mean, Guerrilla was in the was early 2000s, but yeah, Guerrilla Games then really got big. It's still kind of funny that like one of the biggest studios nowadays is like a Dutch studio, but you go. The German studios just kind of evaporated. Like we had. Let me put it like this. Okay, Piranha Bytes is still doing their own thing with Elex now. Good for them. Seriously, good for them. I love their jank. Their jank is great. And nowadays people appreciate the Piranha Bytes jank, so like, hell yeah for that. The Delic fucking imploded. Like, that's a shame. I really need to stream some of the old Dedelic point-and-click adventures. And I don't mean Deponia, I mean Edna bricht aus. And I will say only the German name because it's a pun and it only works in German. Well, it kind of works in English too. Edna breaks out, which is like... I think I told it before. You know what the pun is. It's just a really stupid joke. Oh no, you know what? I will play Zatanav's Chains. That will be it. Okay. Do I have 2 boats of navy now. Ladies and gentlemen, we can do some war. Let us build a bit more army and then let's go to war. We could actually develop good... Yeah, we still had it in the 2000s because, gentlemen, I love war. Is this the dawn of the great Balinese... The Buff Balinese Empire, Claire? We are playing Buff Bali. Bali is the big buff girl in Indonesia. Okay, you know what? It's choo-choo time. Let's go for choo-choos. Congrats on the Navy. Feline Navy Day. Feline Navy Day. Buff Balinese Empire. Yes, the Buff Balinese Empire. Buff Balinese Empire. We're doing some war. War. Huh. What is it good for to make Bali buff? What? We can fix our fabric shortage by just invading other people.
Finally, progress on colonial exploitation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's been so long. I've actually had terrible luck with getting it.
I still have not thought of
Hand out the Chris knives to the Buffest Balinese butchers. We're going to war. Yes. Yes. Oh, mass communication. Very useful. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Ottomans.
What are the Ottomans up for?
They wanted to protect Oman. I wanted to tributary them, you know?
Oh, not Oman.
Like you do,
But it's in Zanzibar.
but I need them.
Don't you want Gaza and then into Transvaal?
I want, but I do not have enough boats.
Yet. So you just grabbed Oman.
I
Wanted to
tried
grab-
to. I tried to.
Oh no.
By the way, Giuseppe Garibaldi left Britain. Just thought you might want to know. The Italian mastermind, the Italian guy himself.
Yep.
I'm surprised that he was there.
Wait, you're invading Brunei. Stop that! This is mine! we said we keep to our regions.
This is
You fucking
You can
ravenous
get it back
monster!
later. I need money.
Keep your hands off my Brunei! The man who was Italy, yes.
You can get it back later.
Fuck off! This was mine.
I can help you more actively if I have Brunei.
I mean, yes, but no. I wanted Brunei.
You could build ships from the start. Why
They
don't
have
you?
iron. I mean,
You could build ships from the start. Why don't you already have Brunei? They start with
Fuck
0
you.
people.
It is because I do not have the money for that.
But you would get the money if you tributary them.
I need to conquer land.
Yeah, see? Could have done that.
The man who was Italy. Yes. Haha, okay. I can't add a war goal because I will...
I'm already, by the way, out of infrastructure since a while ago. And my ports don't really want to fill up.
You might put a university in South Madagascar. That'll speed up
And
your.
also very close to
qualification.
Italia, I just realized, and now you must too.
That speeds up what?
It speeds up qualifications.
You think it's because of qualifications?
Let me take a look.
Because I don't think it is. I think it's because, well, they now for some reason neither get enough wood nor cloth. Right now.
Clippers are way too expensive, so the weekly balances of your
Yeah.
shipyards is not good, which means that your
Yep.
ports are not filling up as easily, so you need to...
I tried
build
to, but
shipyard.
then I ran out of infrastructure.
Well, you're also, like, producing no wood. Well, not enough wood.
I have had enough, but not
You
anymore.
might want to get... You might want to get off of hardwood
Yeah.
production, yeah.
But I
That-
also
that
kind of
was
need.
the
But I
target
also
problem.
need hardwood.
Build one level up. Put your one logging camp in the south on
Yeah.
hardwood.
It will soon be 2, but yes.
You have to. There's a lot of work that goes into the mappy for smaller nations. Especially if you have multiple provinces.
Yep.
2 is ideal in my opinion when you're just starting out, because you can micromanage those.
Yeah, I don't like
And
to
set different
micromanage. That's like the one thing I do not like.
Yeah. I don't like it that much either, but when you understand how to make it function useful.
I mean, sure, but I don't want to.
Yeah. I understand.
Okay, academia unlocked.
I'm going to need more bricks for Casa de Brick. Yeah, time to invest in more bricks.
Not to be confused with an amphibious brick.
Amphibious brick?
Yeah. Cyber T3. That brick.
Oh, that brick. Yeah, the brick is
They're
cool.
small and stupid.
But they do have torpedoes,
They do have torpedoes.
so they are situationally useful.
Yeah, but the torpedoes are shit.
They are indeed. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what the update is gonna. I think the landing is bugged.
I don't know if it's bugged or not. The UI is still kinda shite.
It is kinda shite indeed.
If the landing doesn't start after...
I don't know if it
Or more-
started.
Well, if a battle doesn't start in 3 ticks from now, then, 3 of the weeks from now, then just cancel it and restart it.
Yeah.
I still don't have enough fleet stuff. Because I don't have enough anything. Let me do a Ruben. I want to go into the British market.
Oh, is this what we're calling this now? Let me do a Ruben. Do we
I think
really?
I've noticed a possible issue with your naval invasion.
Oh
Not-
yeah, I put him on the fence because his moral is low right now. His manpower. Yeah.
It's also your employment.
employment from
You
what?
might not win that. You might not even win that battle.
I think so. That I don't will right now. So because my employment doesn't go up in any way.
Well, if you use some of your authority for what's it called? For enlistment effort.
I'm not
That-
thinking of enlistment efforts. I can't do them.
What? You haven't?
No.
You've been planning to conquer people, and you haven't touched your military tech.
I did.
What?
The first 2 techs I researched were there. Like, where is the enlistment effort? No, I should
The
have
most
it.
important.
It
If
should.
you're planning to do military early in the early game, you need to get yourself.
I have more people
like
than they
water.
do. That's all I need.
What I think happens is when a general has a non-filled army, it picks. I think if the level of building that, well, like if the unit that the general picks to lead is not full or existent, which it can probably pick, then it won't be able to trigger the start of the naval invasion because there's 0 manpower in the.
Then there was probably a battle because he doesn't have manpower anymore, and he had.
Well, there you go.
Oh, Heavenly Kingdom exists.
Oh, nice.
Hasn't done in a while, actually. Yeah.
Island nations are pain.
They're not landing! What the fuck?
Well, you have
Well,
only...
so yeah, your problem is also potentially the lack of employment.
Well,
I'm paying them
biggest,
well.
The biggest problem we both have is not enough boats.
I mean, apparently they are under recruitment, but... but they still should be able to try to land.
So a landing is rarely ever instant, especially if you're dealing with something kind of jank that they're trying to pull off just a couple boats in a larger army.
Yeah, don't they need 3-1 battles, invasion battles, and then they...
It's not necessarily 3. They need enough, and so when you win an invasion battle, it takes the invasion progression bar forward a certain amount, depending on how much you captured. And if you've captured and once you've captured the full province, that's when you land.
Makes sense.
That's why some provinces are actually faster to land on than others. Partly because of terrain, and also it can be affected by the type of army that you have. Like, for example, if you have lancers, well, if you have cavalry,
Yeah.
then that's an effective way. By the way, if you don't have industry, early game hussars are pretty useful for developing nations, because those will destroy. Those will generally destroy the irregulars.
Yeah.
But they also don't cost you anything small arms wise.
Yeah, they just need grain. The people on the horses are dead, the horses are invading.
Yeah. That's the true glitter hoof.
Yeah,
Still don't think the game overall is developing in a way I like.
I can say that the same. Wait, I mean, like, let's go to war. My people do not advance onto the beach.
I mean, as I said, You also need to bring them to bear. You kind of need a certain amount of ships per army stack.
You need to have an equivalent level of ships for the number of divisions that you're trying to land with.
Yeah.
So you need.
So
Wait,
basically,
Otherwise you'll face penalties, and I think it might
Yeah.
affect the speed at which a battle occurs.
it's also if I remember correctly, at least in earlier patch versions, it gave you a malus on attack and stuff.
It does.
Because obviously, if you only have 2 boats and the rest of your army is swimming in the ocean like it usually does,
I mean,
you can only bring 2 people full of boats.
isn't like
2 boats full of people to the landing, and then they go out, and that's the battle, and then they go back and take another 2 boats full of people, you know? But if you had 10 boats, then you could bring 10 boats full of people at once, and then you could overwhelm them. That's basically how I visualize it.
But I thought
Pretty
one boat equals 10 units.
No, that would make sense. Stop.
Shut up. That means I just need to make more boats.
See,
Yeah, it's 1 boat equals 1 unit.
yeah, but 1 unit is basically an army, and 1 boat is, well, not a fleet because the thing itself is a fleet, but a small number of boats.
Though that'll all change when the game discovers, when the game has the change to, what do you call it? The Navy.
Yeah.
Oh, are we gonna see Great Qing become the Heavenly Kingdom again?
Apparently,
Someone is attacking Russia successfully.
the Great Qing.
Yeah.
Cool. General, the scent is rough and coarse. It gets everywhere. We cannot fight in those conditions. It would be very funny if you're if this was from an, how's it called? Sand. Like Arabic Empire, and they're like, oh no, sand.
You know what I don't like about the Heavenly Kingdom situation? The Heavenly Kingdom never doesn't get the journal entry for the explosion of the Qing into the various states. So essentially, you've got a Protestant China that is never gonna explode. And it's never going to have as much instability issues.
I mean, that's kind of good. Kind of.
Kind of. The problem is just that there's not too much that you can do with them because they're strong enough that you can't really mess with them too much. But they're also, not so strong that people will get involved, or active that people will get involved with them.
My problem right now is that I still can't get boats. I'm trying.
You don't have the, do you not have the boats themselves, like the man of wars, or do you not have what?
I sometimes do not have the man of wars. I generally don't have the resources, even though I build pretty much as much of specifically those resources as my infrastructure allows. And my private construction tree doesn't stop and will just reduce my market access further and further.
What goods do you need?
I need man of wars, I need wood, I need fabric.
Okay. That's, with the exception of fabric, I'm making a lot of wood and I've got access to Spanish man of wars. So once
Which
my interest gets...
Knowing about the Heavenly Kingdom led by Jesus' little brother, that state wouldn't last at all. Yeah, there were a lot of weird Christian sects in Asia over the years.
I mean, come on. If you have so many sites, you can do a Christian one as well.
There's also the one where, the one in Japan where it's like Jesus
Died here.
actually didn't die, but he died in Japan of old
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
And his brother was he also had a brother or something like that
Yeah.
as well.
It
It's
is-
wild.
Yeah.
It is buck wild, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, nobody has found the corpse of Jesus, so...
Why didn't they?
And it would also explain why we do not have documents from the Roman times of a Jesus, because he was actually called something Japanese.
That makes so much more sense. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah.
Oh, but the documents are lost now because they were lost in World War II.
Yeah, World War II, the one time in history where the Catholic Church really does not want to talk about their involvement. Jesus' son? Yes, Jesus' son. There's this one manga where he lives together with Buddha in one apartment. And it's like it always looked very fun, but I never saw it.
Okay, so I tried trading. I tried to see if I could trade Man of Wars and stuff with you, but it's looking like I can't. And I just got colonialism, so I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, do that.
Meanwhile, I will just literally wait for my fleet to get bigger and maybe invade Ake. Because at one point I can probably just invade Ake and kill everyone. I know I won't kill everyone, but I'm not that evil. I bring him to the greater Balinese buffness. Ake will be like the extended arm of Bali that just flexes. Not working out?
No.
Yeah, same. Same.
It's like, I like the idea, but I do not like in which version of the game we play. I had more fun with the old one. Okay, the naval invasions were shit. Fair. But at least you could play smaller nations and do something.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're also playing one of the harder, smaller nations.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
fair, but like before the naval rework, you could pretty easily just invade Zulu with the Marine.
I think the
Kingdom.
worst part is just that I don't feel like I have any
Like they made the
informed-
game hard is even the wrong word. Like you have such a big time of several decades with the Marine Kingdom before you can even begin to play the game.
Yeah, also like it is very obtuse in some parts now. For example, I built ships. Why the actual fuck? It's like, oh hey, you have built a ship now. The costs are gone, but you still like need a lot of time until there is a ship.
That's manpower and stuff.
Yeah, but
Which they would need to visualize better.
they need to visualize that and just make it less obtuse. Tedious more than hard? I think obtuse, but yeah, tedious. It kind of also makes sense.
It's not necessarily tedious because it's the core gameplay loop still. But you have to analyze a lot more stuff of your single states, and to figure out stuff how to play it more optimally. Instead of like managing a country, you're now managing like states. Which is like even more direct control. Which for some people is probably great. Just not for me.
Yeah, I feel like the second rework is just very much needed.
Second rework of what?
Navy.
The economies or the Navy? Yeah. Again, it's something that they are aware of and that they are working on.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's what kind of pisses me off, because I technically have the manpower and everything. It just takes too much time. That is just like,
I mean, kind of makes sense that people need years to like be actually trained at something. But
it's,
now we need to build normal shipyards, military shipyards, as I said for one. So it's even more infrastructure. construction sectors need more infrastructure. Like, so many small nations are royally fucked in comparison to how they were before.
Wait. You know what? I'm just making some new tea.
You make tea?
I make some new tea. So my wonderful...
I cannot complain about the same thing over and over again. It's just like, what else can I do? I remember in previous patches just playing Zulu and conquering everything there. It was fun. Oh, Jing is losing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Jing starts out as kind of a punching bag. It's also probably only country where you rush agrarianism.
Yeah. I mean, part of the issue is just you have so much filled up arable land, well, subsistence farms, that there's just too much to combat against.
Yeah, it takes ages. But at the very
same
least, you can
goes for
spam
India.
construction sectors. That's fun. Lots of construction.
That said, I do feel like the game still has a little bit of more work to do in order to pivot away from the whole construction sector loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they want to go away from that, it will be hard because pretty much everything depends on the construction sector. So of course, it's the center point of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that things might start to go away from that once they add in private companies as like their own thing, where they can build on their own separate from the private construction queue.
Yeah. I mean, I just, you know what? I also kind of thought about the whole...
The main problem right now of the construction queue is that they do not respect infrastructure. Like, they will
do.
fuck your country.
Like, for example, I haven't, for the last, like, however many years, my private construction hasn't built a single thing because that would put me over my infrastructure limit.
Well, they did here already several times.
That's probably because you built something while, like, you continued building something while something else was queued up.
I'm building docks. They don't need infrastructure.
Yeah.
I mean, before you had the problem.
Oh, no. I was already counting how much I can build and stuff and left some out, some extra infrastructure. They still built one over it. Then they stopped, luckily. But
Could be that infrastructure levels changed slightly due to population.
that could be.
That could be...
Or that
That
I get
happens.
more or less infrastructure with ports. That could also be.
Yeah, the employment in a port affects how much infrastructure it gives.
Yeah, yeah. I mean...
So if your ports aren't fully employed, there's no point in building more ports because you're not going to do anything. And if anything, you might make your infrastructure worse because you affect the overall amount that they're getting.
That's kind of the problem. I have one shipyard, one military shipyard, a textile mill to reduce the profitability of the subsistence farms there, because that's what they make the most money with. And none of those things employ, otherwise I started building more livestock ranches, and even they don't fully employ. Nothing fully employs.
Yeah.
I must be doing something wrong because it's supposed to work. So, but I'm not quite sure what.
I really do not get how the manpower is just not. You know what I thought. What I really don't want to land. Yeah. So there's actually one thing I kind of realized what I could do. I don't know if this would be an expansion or anything, but you know what would help?
Huh?
Military academies. You build military academies, and they have a steady output of already, usable
Officers.
manpower. Yeah, officers, Here's the thing. They just produce a steady amount of manpower, so, like, if a ship is ready in the future, which you can build separately, it can be manned instantly and doesn't need to be trained afterwards. So you speed up the process. But then you could even make fun mini games like, hey, how much funding goes into each of the separate, sectors, for land, military, or navy. And yeah, you can be like, hey, here are some things that might be taught at the military academy, which then,
Translates into probability of trades.
yeah, or trades, or political alignments, etc. That would be one
Do you
hell of
still
a.
have problems with the landing?
Yep.
Just keep restarting every now and then. Eventually it'll work. It's probably bugged for you right now.
Probably. Alright, everyone, we're going home. Actually, no, you're going back. Whee! Whee! Oh, they really don't want to land. I'm just going to get my tea.
Get the tea.
Yeah. Fresh tea ASMR.
Okay.
Yes, I pop up and make
My attack slowly. So I had full manpower. Okay.
Yeah.
But my attack was 1, and now that it's nearly depleted, it's 11. So I guess that's the malice of not having enough boats.
Yeah. It's a pretty nasty malice.
Yeah, I remember they just don't show it anymore.
They do. You have to look at the battle.
There is no battle. And it's over in like seconds.
Then you're probably at an issue of where you don't have enough troops that are actively...
That's what I mean with they don't really show it, because most battles don't take longer than a few seconds. At least for me.
Usually battles for me take a little bit. Like, it's not like I can easily miss it unless my army is like severely underprepared to fight.
Well, I'm of the opinion it should always be shown, no matter if there is a battle or not.
I mean, there's also the thing that, how should I say? Oh well. We have to see how further down the line in the year. I mean, we will probably not play continuously Wiki 3. Again,
If they have a good update, I will play.
If there's a good update, we will 100% stream it, but it's more like, if there's a drought again, like before 1.5, probably will see what we do then. I mean, that's the problem. I kind of wish I kind of want to do like an would love to do like an open lobby playthrough of a Monster Hunter title, but I would definitely not want to do one of the 2 new ones. Like, would Rise be bad? Probably not, but I really don't want to play Rise. And then we have the problem, who the fuck would be like, oh yeah, I totally join like Generations? Generations Ultimate? Like, okay, yeah, maybe. Who knows? But I would be like, yeah, wouldn't you just play Lance again? Why, yes, why do you ask? Lance is fun. Poke, 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 hop. Poke, 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 hop.
So I pretty much can't build anything anymore. There's something. Okay, something more. Okay, maybe wood. I need more wood there.
I mean, every other option is like, oh, does anyone even have a Wii U? I mean, the rest is unplayable, sorry.
If we wouldn't come from the same outward internet stuff, we could play Unite.
Yeah, Unite has a bit going, but yeah. Otherwise, it's like, I mean, again, if you're, if they actually manage to put back on the Try servers, we would need a second copy of Try, but then other people would still need a Wii or a Wii U.
And make a setup with that.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
I do want to stream an old Monster Hunter game this year, that's the thing.
Well, we can stream an old Monster Hunter game.
Yeah. But you also know which one I really would love to do because I have never played the underwater combat games.
Sure.
Yeah, this is just shit.
I don't see how that qualifies a game I should stream though.
Because it's fun. I want to just like do
you
this.
You don't know if you find it fun.
Oh, Great Britain is bankrolling us. Oh, thank you, Great Britain.
Oh yeah. Last time I played Marinia, France bankrolled me several times, sporadically, on and off.
The AI needs to learn how to commit to doing some things, like staying in diplomatic plays and bankrolling for times. Although it does sometimes do that actively, because it's trying to get an obligation, and then it'll stop once it gets the obligation, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, if the goal was the obligation, that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Give me more manpower.
Huh. So apparently I'm now an unrecognized power because my prestige fell off. I'm not quite sure why though. Maybe... Oh yeah, I have a child ruler, that could be it.
That could definitely be it.
But
you've had that ruler for a while. It's possible that other countries have had It's highly possible that other countries have had changes.
Yeah.
Like if there's fewer countries than the lower end level for
The Buff Bali's army are too busy flexing to land. Yeah, that's the problem. But you know what the problem is, Claire? Now I really wish there was fan art of that, just, Buff Balinese butchers on, like, an old military ship just being like, yeah, and there's, like, 2 silhouettes, like, on the beach, like, what are they doing there? That would be so good. Also, hey, Beyond, how are you doing? Process Legendary is going to do well. I'm debunking flying saucers. Oh boy, that sounds wild. Definitely more fun than me always talking about how we would need to build more trams. So apparently they tried to attack 3 times? What?
And did they won?
No.
Yeah. Then you failed.
You know what, fuck this. White peas, I suppose.
Yeah, I wasn't able to. I took so long to get anything of value that I kind of got screwed in a lot of stuff, especially like the delays, the constant delays that I had in getting colonialism has essentially halted a lot of my progression to the point where I wasn't able to get strong enough to possibly break free from the Spanish fast enough. And so I had to declare bankruptcy. Which means that it's going to take me even longer to escape from the Spanish.
Also, isn't the landing malus for the Navy kind of stupid? I mean, not that it exists. There should be a landing malus if you do not have enough boats.
Yeah.
But like, why is it a percentage minus and not just like, that's how many troops will be on the front? Like, you have only 3 ships, so only 3 companies of troops can be at the front. Like a combat with modifier.
I would assume that they tried it, and possibly there was something that they didn't like about it with the way that the way that like players or the AI interacted with that.
I don't really see a problem there. I would actually assume that it's just not possible to modify combat with for just one party of a fight.
By the
If
way,
that's how they would do the limiting stuff, then yes, that's probably what it is. But it's hard. I had a picture of it in my mind of how it would potentially be a problem, but I can't remember right now. Just like it slipped out. But I'm fairly certain that there's a way in which you can like I'm fairly certain that there's the way in which you can kind of work it when you have like the money or value to do so that it makes kind of an unfair advantage for the attacker. And I think it's possibly
not really, since
I think it's a tech thing. And I think it has something to do with the values of the attack, and then just like the interaction with manpower. It feels like there's gonna be some kind of like weird jankiness towards the invasions.
I mean, the Invasion have a difficult landing penalty, and I'm just proposing instead of having not enough boats penalty, the penalty should be lowered combat with for the attacker. Instead of like, oh, you have a 20 stack sized army, you need to manually split off however many you have boats and then attack. That's just like needless micro.
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't looked too deep into this system, so I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
So, yeah.
That's
All right,
just
I'll be
how
right back.
far.
I'm gonna grab my stuff. You keep
Yeah.
playing.
yeah.
That's just as far as I understand it, how I would do it, but I don't know if it's even possible within the engine.
That is a good question, actually. Anyway, we're gonna do... You know what?
The whole military system is needlessly complicated and convoluted. Like, if they would make it simpler, it would be so much easier.
We need to build more weather balloons. Yeah, they're fun. Weather balloons are fun.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, Beyond, but the Minecraft server is back online, so if you want to, come back and build stuff, and, get
It
goldfish,
works.
it works actually now, so you can actually build. You can build shit now. So it will be... Ah, yeah, I did forget one step. Whoops. I need to integrate Celebes.
Why did you abort then your anti-slavery thing?
Because then because only in an integrated part it starts, so I just need to wait a bit again.
Oh, you mean your revolution?
Yeah.
Would that revolutionize them?
What?
Would that even make them revolting?
Yeah, but then I crush the landowners and fuck the landowners. Then I have a non-landowner government and can do all the shit I want. Like get slavery out, get homesteading in. Fuck it, I cheese. I don't care anymore. I want my ships. I want everything.
I mean, I would like that as well.
Come on! It's so... Oh. Things are much better now that we don't have landowners anymore. Yeah, we will get rid of them. We will get rid of them very, very easily. No problem.
Stock exchange. Stock exchange.
Okay, basically, remember the guy Elon Musk is not can't fire because it would literally cost him the company. Yeah. Obviously, he's also very based, and he wrote about the whole current, the situation in Palestine. How he was there 20 years ago and was just like, oh hey, I expected nuance being there, but he just was like, no wait, one side is imprisoned and the other side lives in luxury. It's very obvious what's going on there, and yeah, obviously he's still based, and it's still very funny that Elon can't fire him. He should actually own Twitter, honestly, that's just that. Elon should just be kicked out, and Harley should just get a Twitter. Just give it to the Icelandic guy. It's probably gonna be a way better place. And that's a part of EVE Online. For some reason. Not everyone in Iceland plays EVE Online.
They should, though. At least the older versions, before they made free-to-play shit and skill transfer for money and...
I know how pissed you are. I know.
Yeah. And why did they make it illegal to edit wikis for market gain? That's also shit. Manipulate others. Yeah, I did. So what? Just because I did it better.
I love how you are apparently one of the reasons why they banned that, because you fucking were like, I have this not that wealthy, not that valuable mineral here. How about I just edit the wiki so everyone gets gaslit into it being more valuable and you make bank?
What's a long process?
I mean, stuff like that would actually be like fraudulent, like fraud crimes, IRL.
Yeah, but
yeah, but that's what you're supposed to do in EVE Online.
That's EVE Online for you. EVE Online is just like, fuck you. EVE Online is just EVE Online is just so wonderfully stupid, you know?
I think I was a relatively nice EVE Online player.
Okay, considering what the rest of EVE Online people are up to, like, that is a little market manipulation. I mean, hell.
Yeah.
You know,
see, it's way worse if you just steal a whole alliance inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a
So
lot of
that's-
people do that.
It's hard to do.
It's hard to do, but some
That's
really pull
why
it
you
off.
just put. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard, and you need a lot of interpersonal relationship stuff. And so it's way easier to just steal a corp inventory.
That's true. And or you're Bob. And you just fuck up.
Yes.
That was a thing. I still love that because this is just okay.
It's a nice
so everyone
story.
who doesn't know what I mean with or you're Bob and you royally fuck up, it's so in the early days of EVE Online where a lot of people still had more morals about how this MMO was supposed to run, there was the biggest guild slash corporation slash alliance in the game was Bob.
It was an alliance.
It was an alliance?
Yes. A guild are basically corporations, and then an alliance of guilds slash corps is an alliance.
Yeah,
That's the EVE terminology.
basically. So
Oh, the British are fighting the Ottomans now, so if you want to go in on Oman...
Kutai has a cool flag, yeah.
I
I know.
can't. I can only conquer them because now I an unrecognized power, so I can't tributary them.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is that how's it called? Bob was just like the biggest one, and they just dominated everything, and everyone kind of hated Bob. They just kind of hated them. So what happened is that Bob kind of tried to infiltrate, tried to encroach on the territory of a back then very small alliance called Goonswarm. Goonswarm didn't want to have any of that bullshit. They were like, we're going to fight.
Could
Okay.
also be partly propaganda of Goonswarm, by the way.
Part-
Because they got pretty big afterwards.
That's the thing. We will get to that though. The thing is, yes, there are a lot of highs, but still there is the pre-Bob era, and then there is the post Goons the post Goonswarm Bob War era. Basically, they started infiltrating Bob because they kind of were like, we need to know what they're doing, else we just can't fight them. It's not gonna work.
They were defending themselves with putting people in tiny frigates and just throwing them at the enemy.
Yeah, they did a lot of we have to choose. Yes.
That's what they did, yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot of stuff, in terms of how you can, how you do warfare, etc., etc., etc. But then there's one thing that happened, one thing that majorly changed how all of this is going to work. See, they tried to scam someone,
As you do.
as you do. And so they did the whole thing where, they played with him for a while and they, tried to get him out of his whole money, etc., etc., etc. It's a very usual, well-known scam.
Like, oh, you're in high sec, we transport your stuff to low sec, and then you will never see it again.
Yes, stuff like that. And then the guy just gets to them and is like, hey, no, I'm scammed.
I'm being scammed.
I'm being scammed here. But, you guys are really cool, and I like you. So, I'm actually, a major, I think, a CEO.
I don't think that's
Basically,
what the position
one
is called, but he's higher up on Bob.
In one of the highest ranking people of Bob. And he was like, Bob is a shit show and I don't like it anymore. So, Bob was a shit show because they basically let anyone in. And so, he kind of gave them access to everything. Literally fucking everything. And like in under 24 hours, like in a split-second decision in the night, they decided, no, we are going to do this. They literally went in, with his account. They closed and copied all of the, private forums, off-game forums from Bob, and a lot of private conversations on there. They literally raided the whole stock of Bob, dissolved Bob. Like, they didn't just steal the Alliance, they dissolved the Alliance, and then, steal out and dissolved them, and then they just fucking went and were like...
They recreated the Alliance, basically, as a dummy one, so that they couldn't reform.
Yeah, they did that. Just outstanding move to do that. And they succeeded.
And they also proved with the pirate forum stuff that Bob was cheating.
Yes, because turns out, and you won't believe that, there was this one dev who was in Bob who just literally literally just gave them free ships. Yeah. And that kind of went into a really, really, really big thing. Like, yeah, they didn't just, in a one-night sweep, defeated the biggest alliance in the game. They also just kind of caused a major, basically political eruption because people were like, what the fuck? They were cheating? And yeah, that is the whole thing, how Goonswarm made a shit ton of money. And also, and this is the next fun part, how should I explain it in the best way? So after Bob, after Bob was gone and such, they literally went and, well, they basically let the cat out of the bag, so to say. Like, I'm sorry, you don't just go and, you basically don't go and be like, oh hey, we just defeated the biggest, literally the biggest, why were they keeping you in the bag? What?
You don't understand it. It's fine. It's fine. Just keep going.
I'm very...
You're the cat. You said they let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you know how I mean that.
Another cat.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just very stupid. Why are the Dutch in the British market? Oh, come the fuck on! What is wrong with you?
The British attacked the Dutch earlier, and it was kind of recent, I think.
But yeah, basically, the cat was out of the bag. Yeah, they won, but they basically won with, having spies and just taking over. Like, again, most people were okay with that to a big degree, because it was like, yeah, sure.
Spies were still kind of like seen as dishonorable back then.
It was still seen as dishonorable, but like, let me put it like this. Bob was defeated because of spies. Bob was literally defeated basically overnight. And at that point it was less about are spies going to be a thing, and more about the fact that spies are so effective you cannot do it without them. And so everyone started having spies. Because you needed spies at that point. Or you just... Yeah. Or you just don't.
Also, I have also, by the way, been reduced in power from minor power to insignificant.
Aww.
We all just suffer here.
I'm just an unrecognized power. And not insignificant yet.
We need to get people to see your insignificance for what it is. Insignificant.
Mm.
Yeah, half the problem is just like having no diplomatic interests.
Yeah, that's why I need the boats to invade early some weak countries. So that I have, like, for example, if I've gotten Brunei, I would have a permanent interest in, like, Indonesia and stuff. Then I could have helped.
Mm-hmm.
But now I can't.
I mean, it didn't need to be Brunei.
Well, I would like them as a tributary to give me money. Because I need money.
Also, if you were going to hand them over, you would have had to have gone through the whole process of annexing them to hand them over.
Yeah. So I keep them for like 15 years.
I see. Also, I'm not sure if you can... I forget exactly if it's...
If not...
I forget exactly how the process works for
she can just
annexing.
declare war on me with, like, transfer subject. That should also be working.
Oh, look at that! The revolution is starting on the small island with no military. How curious that happened. Is this just a really big cheese to get rid of the landowners? I don't know. Maybe yes, it is. It fucking is. I'm going to do the most Dutch thing ever and just relying on so much cheese. Oh god, I fucking love cheese. Can you guess that I'm lactose intolerant? Because god damn, that cheese is sweet. But she's so good, yes. I mean, this is kind of the funniest thing. This is
if I don't do this, I think I have to do a last-ditch play. Because if I don't increase my autonomy or independence, then I'm probably going to be screwed into a debt spiral.
Oh.
Ah. Yeah. The mob approaches. Oh well. I don't care. You melt a big vat of cheese and drown the landowners in it. Then you get to have fondue after win-win. That is a very Swiss way of killing people. You can take a big block of cheese and over the head of a landowner. Seriously, I walked past the aisle with,
Uh-oh. I tried to pretend to help Kikuyu. Kikuyu?
You can back out.
I can? No.
Why?
I can't anymore. I could do it last time.
That's weird. You should be able to.
Yeah, but
Did you offer them something?
no.
Did you click on the thumbs up or on the arrows?
On the thumbs up.
You should click on the arrows.
But last time it worked. Last time I could even say I want, like, an alliance with you, and then I could support the other party instead. I could just switch.
That is weird.
That's why I'm confused why I can't
Do
do
you
it.
need some tech for that?
It's possible that this is an issue with regards to the type of diplomatic play it is. Because
Could be.
technically it's it's dealing with an unrecognized power.
Yeah.
That could be...
I don't
Or-
like
sorry,
different rules for
that's-
different things that aren't explained before I can, you know?
Should we just...
It's possibly also a bug with it.
yeah.
I don't know.
Should we end this war because then LT would be conquered?
South Madagascar would be conquered.
Let me just... Okay,
No,
everyone...
it's a passive. It's not a primary one.
Yeah,
So-
but they will enforce it on you.
No, I can just give up if it starts.
Then it will probably...
No, it's
Okay.
not a primary one.
Let's try it, and if it doesn't work, if it is a problem, then we go back.
Wait a second, then I
Although-
save here.
She'd still be in the war.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, but
It doesn't matter if you save now.
I do it for one single reason. But yeah. Yeah, von du after, yeah. I really want...
Yeah, okay, they back down, so nothing happened.
okay, good.
Okay, good.
So even before I could even try to give up.
Basically, I walked past it and was like, I want a block of cheese. It's stupid, but give me that
Who
block of
doesn't
cheese.
want a block of cheese?
Yeah. This is probably one of the reasons why I was like, I want to make like, you know, just baked over noodles and something.
Okay,
Just
so my
you can-
saving grace in this diplomatic play is the fact that two Sicilies just decided to support me
Oh,
on their own.
how nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So hopefully that distracts the Spanish long enough.
Two Sicilies help Spain.
No, they're helping. Oh no, wait.
Yep.
Fuck, they are.
They switched sides, I believe.
I misread that.
Oh,
No, they didn't switch side. I just was dumb and misread.
I have a
things.
feeling we all are playing Hail Marys in this game.
I have to. That's my problem.
I was under the impression that my game just told me that they switched. But okay.
Oh boy, I think I'm screwed.
We all are. And the problem is, like, if we would go to bigger countries, we would just step on each other's toes the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. With the only exception being that we have our spheres of influence. Like, if we make a rule where we have our spheres of influence, then we have to stay in them.
Yeah. True. If we did that, then yeah.
If we did that, then maybe we could do it. But
But then there would
and
also.
actually, I think it would kind of work because then we'd have to like if we played on actively trying to. If we like focused a little bit on the role playing aspect too, where we could kind of encroach a little bit, but we had to make deals with each other regarding like not escalating things or causing problems, like that kind of stuff, then I could maybe see something that we do. Like I could see it working.
I wish the game would encourage that mechanically.
Yeah, that would be ideal. I'm gonna lose this war.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't able to do it fast enough. Because I wasn't able to get strong enough fast enough. Because I got stalled like 5 times when I shouldn't have been stalled on the frickin' colonialism law.
Yeah, that's the problem with random chance.
Mm.
I saw a post talking about the law system where they basically said, yeah, it's just the old system. It's just 3 of the old system in the... no, it's 3 ticks in a trench coat. That's what it is.
Hmm.
That's what the current law system is.
I mean, basically.
Well, let's see how we can salvage any of this.
The more I hear how most of our group would actually like to play the game, the more I think, why aren't we playing the minions?
I mean, yeah, but like also you know what a shit show the Minions is in terms of servers. We kind of
Yes.
should wait for the Minions 6, if anything.
Yeah, we could definitely wait for that, but also like, if you host a server for just a small group, that's not a problem.
Also, the Heavenly Kingdom is a thing.
Yeah, it's big now.
It's big. The
And it's
Protestant.
Yeah. Oh wow, I can actively see the part where my population is like going down fast. Partly because of the war, and partly because of the but mostly I think because I had to declare bankruptcy, and I'm getting pretty close to having to do it again.
Oh, someone is building the first trains on Bali. Yes, it's choo-choo time. Choo-choo time. Also, no more landowners. Do you know what that means? Republics. Fuck the monarchy. I think I'm...
I'm wondering how long my frigates still take to be fully manned. I would like a progress bar for that. You know?
I can totally understand that.
I think I'm a dead state now.
Oh no.
Oh no, that definitely is
Yeah.
not good.
Should we do something else then if this wiki stream fails?
I'm starting to be buff a bit. I'm just taking a slightly different approach.
I'm just asking.
I mean, yeah, we probably should. But I wonder what. I mean,
Oh, we can brainstorm.
we can definitely brainstorm. I mean, we could. Yeah, Zep can't join on that. But like, we could show off some Monster Hunter Frontier, but you know.
We could, but then Zeb couldn't play.
That's the thing. Does Zep, do you even like Monster Hunter?
I've tried with playing some Monster Hunter before. It's not really my thing.
Which one?
I've played World and I've played another one. I don't remember which one. I think it was on the Wii U.
Ah.
Then it's 3 Ultimate, probably.
Yeah. If it's not your thing, then it's not your thing.
Yeah. Even though I would say World was probably not the best title to enter Monster Hunter.
Depends. But
It depends. I mean,
but Zeb played too, so.
yeah. I mean, it's more like I think the weirdest part about that is that the old games are very like obtuse in what you have to do, and if you look at World, it's, in my opinion, like the base game is really weirdly laid out and balanced, and the end game was crap, and then they patched in an armor set that just lets you skip low and high rank.
I doubt Zeb will have experienced endgame.
Yeah. But like, here's the thing.
I don't think you play a game through when you don't vibe with it.
Yeah, I'm like, if I'm government, let's just...
I've done a decent amount of the early game of World and some of the, and it I think a tiny bit of the mid game. It just I had a little bit of fun at first, but and just never stuck. I think I tried playing on 2 separate occasions.
What's the problem with World Monster Hunter then? For you specifically?
I think part of it was the tediousness of the multiplayer, which is where I had the most fun.
Oh, that's a fair point. Especially story
Yeah.
missions, you can't easily do
Yeah.
multiplayer.
Oh, yeah,
that's terrible in World.
That is so terrible.
I totally agree.
And also a little bit the theming. Just like the theme and style of the game. Not like from like an artistic point of view, but just like conception. Not the concept. The setting, I guess.
Which setting specifically? I mean, the setting is fleets arrived at a new world, and
It's more like, you know, the very low fantasy, almost Stone Age like.
Kind of.
even though they
I'm
have
very
guns for some reason.
I'm very particular about what I look for in low fantasy.
Yeah, Monster
Like,
Hunter is very specific, so. I doubt you would be looking for something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for example, an example of what I really like from low fantasy is stuff like War Tales.
What else?
Where- It's I think I've shown you guys the game before. And I think it's been compared to Battle Brothers.
Oh yeah, that yeah.
Yeah.
I can get that. That's something I like as well. Monster Hunter is like a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's if there's story and lore, it's much more about ecology. Like how in the old world there are safe places to settle, and those are the places where they have castles in between Lao Shanlung migration routes that are charted basically.
Yeah.
Originally it was intended to be post-apocalyptic.
No, it want to be. The first idea was just.
No, in praxis it would be post-apocalyptic because there was an ancient civilization that lost against the dragons.
That is still canon.
That's kind of canon again, but not completely.
It is that the ancient civilization is still was. They never rolled it out. They just never mentioned it that much, aside from the aesthetical things like the tower and such.
Yeah, the tower is still creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like the tower. I like the tower, but it's creepy.
It is, yeah. But like, hey, if you ever thought the ancient civilization in Monster Hunter was weird and didn't fit, too bad. It was there since the first day, actually.
They didn't say much about it anymore.
They just kind of put it in the background, but it was still kind of there, ironically. So yeah, if you ever watched, you know, the Monster Hunter movie and were like, why do we talk about an ancient civilization?
And portals.
Those are canon. I hate to be that person, but it's canon. It literally is canon.
I'm still not fond of the portals. I just wish we would see the equal dragon weapon.
Yeah, I get you.
I want the equal dragon weapon. But yeah, so no Monster Hunter anyway. whole with each other and against each other, that's kind of the most fun in strategy games. So we would need strategy games, but I don't think we have much more strategy games we can play together.
Yeah.
Problem is that not many strategy games are have decent multiplayer.
Yeah. I mean, hell,
I mean,
I
there's
just
stuff like, I know, Off-World Trading Company has a fine multiplayer, but I don't think that's would be that popular with the group. I like me and Nya will play that a lot.
I like it, but yeah.
And that's already closer to an RTS, just without units and stuff, just capitalism.
Yeah.
And we could maybe end the stream with pouring the server for Minecraft.
Actually, not a bad idea. We can just show it off a bit and then be
That's
like,
a good fallback.
Show what's changed.
yeah, then get all of you interested in playing more Minecraft. But hey, Bali's getting bigger. You know, it's we own like 2 more islands now. Well, half of one island soon.
Should we do that while Cuba is losing like half of its GDP? I mean, he said he was a dead state.
Basically, you really didn't get off the ground, right?
Nope.
Oh fuck.
It's kind of chance-based with Cuba. That's what I don't like about
my economy is only doing this good because the British bailed me out.
Mm-hmm.
And the other problem is also the fact that gold has yet to spawn in Guyana. That's like the other thing that's crippling me.
So, yeah, if we want to pause, we can.
Then is the question, do we want to restart next time or do we want to keep playing this?
We will see, I guess. Last time we couldn't even talk with Room about the whole setup, really. Could we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have to
it's
leave.
fine.
Oh yeah. Have a good night. I mean, I'm just
You
gonna...
have a good run. You have a good run.
It started being good after I've realized I shouldn't invade Ake, just invade...
Yep.
And now I still need to do something about my coal shortages and stuff, but that might be done soon, so...
If I didn't have an infrastructure problem, I could send you coal.
I can build coal myself for now. It's
I'm
appreciated.
just saying, I have 80.
That's not bad.
That's pretty big. Ooh, now people don't want a theocracy anymore. They maybe kinda want a presidential republic.
Ooh, that is kind of interesting.
Yep. But it would radicalize the devout and the rural folk. Because the rural folk want a monarch, apparently. Because the last one didn't poison them enough. Or they did poison them enough. Either or.
The other problem with my country, I have nearly 9 million. 9 million. I have nearly 1 million radicals. You know what my population is? 1.8.
Cool.
And also, the majority of my interest groups are currently pissed off at me. Like, 3 of them are below -12. They're not doing anything. They're not revolutionary for whatever reason, but...
And they're just radical, but without a goal yet.
Uh-huh. So they're perpetually giving me the negatives.
They're skateboarders!
That was a bad joke, and you should feel bad.
No, that's a good joke.
That was a good joke.
Ah. And that's Brunei. Or as I would call it, Greater Bali. Bali getting buff. And you know what? Also
Should we show off the server? Because technically we're also at a time where we would normally stop, by the way.
Oh yeah, we start. And we still want to watch some Baki today.
Yeah.
So you should all watch Baki. Baki is a wonderfully stupid series.
I don't know if you should watch Baki, but
You should watch Baki.
you can if you want really, really stupid fighting.
Oh my god, the plot lines are so... Bucky's like...
Could we
Again,
first decide if we want to show off Minecraft?
we should show off Minecraft, yeah.
Okay. Then I will open Minecraft already.
That's an odd way to say Greater Landfang. Oh, shut up, it's Buff Bali. And our butchers have started learning to land and not to flex all the time. I definitely need to a picture of that, like just the Balinese butchers flexing off.
If you look at it closely enough, Indonesia kind of looks like an arm flexing a muscle.
Yeah, I know. This is why I wanted Ake in the beginning to just be like, yes. Yeah, you only catch that now. Yes, Bali big, Bali bigger, more like that. And I need only.
Too bad that Bali isn't bony.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun,
By the way,
dun,
there's you forgot a part of
Yeah.
North Borneo.
Oh yeah, I will get that. I will get that. Bigly Bali. But
You safe for now.
we will save for now. We will save. There it is. Buff Bali. Let's just make it a new thing and save. Buff Bali.
Yeah, sadly, the Holy Cuban State has not worked out too well.
Not yet. We will see how we can fix that.
I mean, I've got good literacy, but my standard of living is shit. Partly because I don't have market access. And I'm also paying a tribute of like
10% of your income?
6K. It's a lot. It's so much that even if I'm not when I'm not building, I am losing 9,000.
The Holy Cuban State under Pope Fidel St. Castro. I mean, you know.
I mean, my current leader is an admiral, so, or he was an admiral.
Sonia, you should start Minecraft.
I am just popped up. No need to hurry. No need to hurry. But yeah, how posted like one old German train I kind of like from aesthetically on the server. I don't know. Does anyone else like it? I want to. It's a good one. It's a good one. So we are back in literally a second. So don't leave. Don't leave.